If you've ever had to run from one studio to another studio in order to end one show and then start another show, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. We made it to Friday. It is almost mice down, drinks up time. But first, what we have to do is get through today's session. We got 13 in the back. We got a lot of stuff coming. Let's get it rolling.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
Hello, folks, and happy Friday, and welcome back. We made it to the end of the week. A lot going on. That Tesla event. Oh, I can't wait to hear what you folks thought about the Tesla event. I'm literally chomping at the bit here, folks. I'm literally chomping at the bit. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and bring on the one and only co-host, 13. 13, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. Enjoyed the game yesterday and ready to trade. Also, how about that Tesla event?
How about that Tesla event? Okay, so a couple of things here. As I just said on pre-market prep, I actually didn't watch the Tesla event because there was way too many good sports going on. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything in the after hours or the overnight trade anyway on this. I'm just going to see where the chips land. And when I woke up this morning, I looked at the Tesla price. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? And then I started looking at some of the things that were going on at the event. I gotta say, I'm not a fan of the way the van in the car looks. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm not a fan of how it looks. And then I was able to hear Dennis's story about how he was trading it and hitting the bid and shorting it when Musk said let's party. Real good stuff. 13. What did you make? What did you make of the Tesla event?
So I was reading about it this morning. A Reuters article specifically mentioned Dennis Dick, and he quoted him as how he was disappointed at the event. And it looks like that was a pretty big non-event. I mean, you know, they had it rolled out, but there was such a lack of detail about anything really that it just soured a lot of shareholders. So yeah, that's why we're seeing this drop here. I mean, I think the technicals were also kind of showing us that it could have dropped as well, but man, big. I think it was also like late to start, and then it lasted less than half an hour, something like that. So
so a couple of things there. So first of all, I think it was like 47 minutes or so. A late start. It was already a 10 p.m. Eastern start, and then it didn't start till almost 11. They said that there was a medical emergency. Yeah. I can't confirm it, but that's what they said. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. Dennis told the story about how a Reuters reporter reached out to him real late at night and gave him that quote. So really, really good stuff there. You see Tesla here. We actually currently here in the pre-market, we're beneath the 50-day moving average. One thing for me today is going to be, as far as like a trade goes, again, I'm not in this. I wasn't in this. I wasn't trading the actual event. But as far as where we're at here today, if we can actually reclaim that 50-day, I think you might see some fireworks here. I want to know if the buy the dippers, which have been present in this market for as long as I can remember at this point, at least for all of this year, I want to see if the buy the dippers step in here on Tesla. We'll see what kind of trading action we get.
That'd be nice if they stepped in, you know, closer to 200.
Have it come in here and have them step in. Yeah. I mean, look, we got the trend right now, the trend line and the 200-day are converging around 200. So I'm with you there. If this really kind of came in, I actually might consider a swing instead of just kind of like a day trade here on Tesla. But you're right. Kind of a non-event, not a whole lot of details there. And I think that the market is telling you what they think about that here today. So, okay. Real good stuff. Look, I'll say this. I don't think this is going to be the last time that we take a look at Tesla today. I suspect that's going to be on the docket quite a bit. Let's talk about the SPY here, though. We also got a PPI print today that was, for the most part, in line, and we don't really see a whole lot of reaction here from the SPY. If we zoom in, you can see this is when we actually got that print. We traded up to 557 and we came right back to where we were. 13, did you have a chance to look at this? Do you have any thoughts on this PPI readout that we got here today on the SPY or for the market? Excuse me.
slightly higher than expectations. So we're starting to. I guess there's the fear is starting to creep into the market that rate cuts might be off the table, or at some point in the future they might have to raise because they got inflation wrong. That's the fear right now. I think we still need more time to see what's going to happen, but that seems to be what the market is worried about at the moment with these reports that we've been getting from CPI and PPI. As far as price action goes, I think it's most likely going to be just trading within a range, kind of like how it did yesterday, just between the all-time high of 577.71 and the previous all-time high, which is $3 less than that, 574.71.
Okay. Really good stuff there on SPY. Really quick, I love this comment here. Alex, first of all, Alex, thanks for the shout out there. Really appreciate it. I do love pre-market. Those guys make it really easy though, let's be honest. Alex saying here, the Tesla event was an appetizer without the main course. This is a really good analogy. There's only been a handful of times when I've had the appetizer and not cared about the main course. Shout out Wisconsin cheese curds. They're the best. Anyway, yeah, I like this. We'll see if we end up getting a main course here anytime soon. Okay, SPY, I guess just really quickly is for what I'm looking at here. Where do we finish in relation to this trend line? We're slightly above it. We'll see if we've got enough juice to trade down below it, or if we try and break out. If we trade up here, one of the spots I'm going to be looking at is 557.5 on the SPY. That was going to be your intraday high, which was a double top with the pre-market high from yesterday. Okay. Let's take a look at some of the movers, and then we'll turn it over to the chat, and we can party on, which seems to be the phrase of the day here on this Friday, coming straight from that Tesla event. Let's run down those movers, and then let's go take a look at what the chat wants. I didn't have, because I got called into action here early, I didn't have as much time as I normally do to prepare for these. I'm going to do the best job that I can here. First one that I'm seeing here on the list is going to be Top Wealth Group Limited. Oops, let me do this here real quick.
It's funny. I was watching this one, in the morning too, and I noticed that they in the news from September they had that filing, that prospectus to sell 27 million shares, and then just as 9 o'clock hit, the news came across that they actually executed that. Okay. So if you go to the news feed, you can see where I'm talking about, and that's why we've recently got that initial drop down after we consolidated, and then popped in the past 10 minutes or so.
Okay. So here we go. On top of what are we looking at here in terms of, okay, so 8.8 million in the float. Gosh, this thing trades on average 209,000 shares. We already traded 15.5 million here today. Look out. This thing is going to be probably in play all day here. Nothing really to speak of there on the short interest. I don't have financial information, or don't have a whole lot of financial information. So, okay, let's see here on TWG. Just thinking about a trade here, I'd really like this to kind of pull back to the VWAP. You can see the last time we did that, we actually plunged beneath it. So really want to make sure that that VWAP holds. See if we get a trade here. Ticker TWG.
Yeah, I think that that drop that you're looking at there, that's from when they released the information about the offering. Okay. And then it just got back up. So yes, JJ, your point. Yeah. 40-cent offering. Why is it still at $5? That's going to be your caution flag here. Be careful with this one, because it could pull pretty quickly, I think, as a result of that. I think it probably could run quite a bit, but at some point it's going to have to come back in, and I think it's going to do it pretty quickly. So be careful with this one.
Okay, that is TWG. Good stuff there, 13. Next one here is going to be ticker ZENA. You guys know how I like my Z's. If there's a Z in a word, the word is just better, because Z's are awesome. We'll see if that works here for tickers. Xenatech, I'm actually not familiar with this company at all, and I didn't see any news on here, so it kind of looks like a pump job. What was that, 13?
That's because it's a recent IPO.
Okay, there you go. We don't have float for it. We really don't have a whole lot of average volume information. There's no short interest information here. So what does this do here? Enterprise software technology company that specializes in mission-critical cloud-based applications integrated with smart hardware to deliver innovative solutions across diverse industries. Boy, that is some jargon and a half right there. The company operates in the software development, technology, sales, and distribution. It's also developing drone manufacturing, sales, and a distribution business. Okay, so drone business there. So what do we make here of ZENA with really no news here? Kind of just looking at technicals.
I guess that's kind of what we have to do here. So that's not the right. There we go. Yeah, so this does have a 1.93 million share float. It IPO'd on October 1st for $10 a share. That was the beginning price, and it just sold off. It has not had a green day since, and it seems to have found a bottom down around 175. So I think it's just coming off of a big just a big selling period. Just kind of like a rebound almost. This I don't know how high this will go up, but I think that's just what's happening here. It's just been absolutely hammered. So now it's getting attention and it's turning around because people are taking a gamble with it.
Okay, so for some upside levels, given that 13, I'm definitely going to be looking at this VWAP here first. We got that at 295. Then also the pre-market high here at 340. And then honestly, I think probably the next upside level here is 4. Maybe if you want to get cute here, 393, but 4 sure seems to be the next level on the upside. Look, I know we don't have a whole lot of data. We're working with what we got here. So that's kind of what I see here on ZENA. Next, we have here is ticker PW. This is Power REIT. This is not one of the REITs that we have discussed quite a bit on Happy Hour. I don't follow this one, although I will say, given this formation here on the pre-market on the 1-minute chart, I do like this, right? Impulse move just above 170, pull back to retrace some of that move. We chopped around, shook out the weak hands, crossed through the VWAP, and go higher here. Let's see now. 160 going to be your pre-market high thus far. We'll see if we take that out and go towards the highs on Power REIT. Now, did we have any news on this one? Looks like Form 8 here, but otherwise don't really see a whole lot. Receives notice. This was back in September about a delisting standards. It looks like it's held on there. Sorry.
Yep, I was just going to say it's another one of these non-compliance plays. So was TWG, that had a delinquency notice as well. So it's these companies trying to regain compliance. This has been a theme. Also with this particular company, PW, we've been discussing this. Companies like this, and to watch for companies like this as they are in the environmentally controlled agriculture. Like vertical farms and things like that. They specialize in indoor growing, use less water usage. Ryan, we've been talking a lot about this in Happy Hour, and this is one such company that we didn't know about, I guess. But this is something to pay attention to if that's in fact what they do, because at some point that's going to be, and this is also kind of a cannabis play too. So this is going to be, agriculture as well.
Okay, added to that list so we can talk about it. We'll see if we get a trade here today. Balance sheet looks okay. They don't really burn a whole lot of cash, so looking okay on that front here. Now, nice little pullback to the VWAP here at 149, currently sitting at 150. Giddy up. That's all right. Okay, next one here is going to be AGBA, and this almost came from Pennyland. Oh, looks like it was going towards Pennyland and stopped. We did have some news here on AGBA this morning. AGBA advances towards completion of its Triller merger. So Triller merger, expected to close on October 14th, which is going to be Monday, subject to final NASDAQ approval. For whatever reason, that's popping the stock here up 15.5%. I don't get it, but it is kind of going here. What do you make of this one at all?
Didn't really cover this one.
Yeah.
I can see that it has a very large float, 175 million shares. So I don't know what it's really moving on. I guess the merger is really the only news that I see. So I don't really have any read on this. If this does move at all in the regular session, I feel like it's going to be those intermittent pops, and it's just going to mostly leak throughout the day. That float is just a little bit too large, for me.
Okay, Smoke Tuna saying the AGBA news coming was called 2 days ago in the chat.
Well, there you go. If you're already in this,
you know what I'm going to do? We're going to give a Chewbacca shout out to the chat for being awesome, like you folks normally are. So, okay, really good stuff there, Tuna. All right, that's pretty much it that I have from the movers list here. I guess honorable mention to Buru. which also had a newsprint here. It's up 10%. And then DJT didn't really have any news here, but we've been watching this one for this thing is just on a big move. Look at this. This is a double since the end of September here. I don't know where the train stops here, but it sure looks like this is going to be in play here today. So let's watch the opening print, watch the technicals on that. We can move back over here to the chart tool. You guys do have a couple of stocks you want to take a look at. First, we're going to start with CAPR here. Okay, CAPR. What's that?
They had news.
They did have news. They also had an HC Wainwright. And we were just talking about this on pre-market prep. This is exactly what Joel was talking about. Wild stuff here. On Wednesday, October 9th. Yes, that Wednesday, the one 2 days ago, HC Wainwright reiterates buy on Capricor Therapeutics, maintains a $40 price target. And then it looks like they screwed up because today they maintained a buy and raised the price target to 77, almost a double from where it's at. So something must have changed here. Piece of news this morning, Capricor Therapeutics reports long-term data from HOPE-2 Olay study in Duchenne muscular dystrophy at 2024 World Muscle Society Congress. That is your newsprint here. This is only up about 1%, but you folks have been you don't even need me to tell you. Oh, it looks like we're pulling here. No wonder it's only up that much. Go ahead.
Didn't we mention this when we were looking at CAPR a while, like earlier this month? Because there was news about how they were going to present.
Yes. We have been looking at this. Here you go. This chart actually shows it. We have been looking at this since the morning of September 24th. And as far as this month goes, we've actually taken another leg up this month. Sounds like that's the event that we were looking for. This is not one that I follow, and I actually didn't trade this one, but it does look like this is going to be in play here today. Now up 6%. So it looks like this is, to borrow Joel's line, this is a volatile puppy. It looks like this is back and forth here in the pre-market.
Yeah, when you have spreads like this, it's going to be. I mean, it probably could be great, but just be careful with this. And I was just looking at the spread, and it's like anywhere between like 50 cents to $1. So just be careful.
Okay, so CAPR, let's see. You folks were mentioning this. Richard said CAPR too steep a dive going up again. So you're saying that this recent pullback here a little too steep and it's time to bounce here. We'll see what other comments do we have here from the group. Will, looks like you're getting ready to trade this. Wow, that is well said there. Okay, I think that's pretty much it here on CAPR. Shaka, I know that you were watching this. Let me know what you folks are trading. We've seen this one move. This could be a real good mover here today, so we'll see if this gives us a setup. Next stock here, Alex, you were asking AEHR, please, gentlemen. Look, Alex, when you're going to be that polite, we are absolutely going to cover that stock without a doubt. AEHR reported earnings last night here. So Aehr Test Systems beat on the top and bottom line. 7 cent EPS beats the 2 cent estimate. 13.12 million beats the 12.17 million estimate. Stocks up 17% here today. We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I actually did not play this most recent earnings report on this. Now looking at the price, of course, I wish I had. We talked about this being involved in solar yesterday. Solar's really been getting hit, but AEHR looks to buck the trend here. Higher we go. I'd want to see this really kind of just shake out some of the flippers from yesterday. There's always people that play some of these earnings prints. So let's pull on back here. Let's actually get my VWAP up there. Let's pull on back here, maybe the top end of this range. That's exactly where the VWAP is there, 1520, and see if we get a trade here. What do you got on AEHR?
This is one that we talked about a year or two ago when it was starting to really sell off because the EV demand wasn't there, or there was a pause or a phase in manufacturing where it just wasn't producing because of the shortages we had at the time. As a result, there wasn't a whole lot to test, and it came down from the 50s to where we're at now. It actually went under $10 at one point, but as a result, you have this high short interest and a lot of days to cover. So we have a short squeeze candidate here, and then they have good earnings. So now we're getting a turnaround here. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with this one, is that it's business is apparently still good. It's actually picking up. The testing of the semiconductors that they test for and with EVs and whatnot and solar, that appears to be ramping up. So it's likely a short squeeze candidate here. Now I don't have any levels, but that's what I'm seeing here as a result of the short interest and the earnings.
Yeah, and really quick, guys, just to be clear here, yes, I don't believe this is not a solar size, not as if they make solar panels, but they are related because, as 13 said, don't they make test circuits for those solar systems? I'm pretty sure that they do. Understand
Yes.
It's not a solar stock, but I believe it does have some connection to that industry.
It is a test system for burning in and testing logic, optical, and memory integrated circuits.
Yeah. So sorry about the confusion there. Jay, I know that you had mentioned this yesterday. I actually just kind of read right over it. I know they don't produce panels, but again, I do still believe that there's a connection there. Just to be clear. And then the other thing that you guys were saying, Shaka here, insanely nice chart. I agree on that. Almost can't believe I'm going to say that, but I agree on that. Here's the one thing. We popped above several of these moving averages. As long as we can hold this and maybe even move higher, that would be great. One thing to keep an eye on here is that RSI is starting to enter overbought territory. So I would imagine that if we get up to one of these resistance levels, maybe 1680, 17-ish in there, maybe even up to 20 if it's really got the juice, this thing is likely to take a break. Looking pretty good here. Let's see if we can hold above this 200-day. That would be great for AEHR. Anthony saying, I also like the chart. So there you go. Robert giving us targets. Let's go, folks. Next target for AEHR near 2030. That makes a lot of sense based on the chart that I'm looking at. Really, really good stuff here. Okay. We still got 5 minutes here. Let's see. Palantir and WBA. Yep. We take a look at these often, but we can kind of review that here. Palantir, dude. How awesome has this stock been to this group? We have talked a lot about Palantir recently. Still long via a butterfly here. Target 45 for me, and we are within reach. The one thing here that is definitely has to be mentioned, we are moving pretty quick. So we actually had a nice spirited discussion the other day about VWAP and how as you move away from the VWAP, stocks like to return back to the VWAP on a regression to the mean type thing. Same is true for some of these moving averages, although it takes a little bit longer of a time frame. Look how extended we are. RSI totally overcooked here at 78. So I wouldn't even be shocked really if we run into some resistance on Palantir. Let's just hope we don't break down if we're not able to get out of those longs prior to 45. 45 seems to be the next round number. I think we go and test that. You got anything here on Palantir, 13?
Just questions like what's your exit plan for this, or what's anybody's exit plan? Are you waiting for it to get to 45 and then taking profit? Are you going to hold some? Are you going to sell it all?
I'm sitting on the offer. I have a good till cancel working sell order to completely clear out my butterfly. I'm sitting on that. I think it should fill around 45. If we get up to that 45 level and it doesn't look like it's filling, maybe I'll lower that price, but I'm looking for 150% sitting on the offer.
Okay, because it's had a great run, like you said.
It has had a great run. And look, I mean, here's the thing. Like the reason that I'm not in a hurry to sell this is because I have a butterfly. If I just had plain calls or plain stock, it would be prudent for me to pay myself on the way up here. Absolutely. And I think that if you find yourself in that position, if you have, let's just say 4 calls, I think if this thing continues to trade up, or even right now, I don't think selling 2 of those is a bad idea at all. Lock those gains, and you got to be up close to 100%, depending on where you bought some of those. So that's my plan. 13. That's what I would answer that.
And I do see a lot of folks here that they are holding it for the long term. So that's great, and it probably will end up going much higher longer term. For those that aren't doing long term and it's more of a short-term trade for you, yeah, that's why I was kind of asking if you're maybe selling into this move over 40 and into the 45 print. Looks like learn with Moses. I think you mean overbought, but he's already out.
Overbought, yeah. Did I say oversold? I'm sorry.
No. It's not you. I'm saying learn with Moses said oversold, and I think he means overbought, and I agree with that because look at this thing. So I wouldn't be buying this right now. If I'm not in it, I'd wait for it to come back in. It's very extended, but it's also been very, very great too. So don't be afraid to take profits if this is a short-term trade for you.
Yeah, Amanda here, who has been lights out recently with the trading here. Palantir is a no touch for me outside of the butterflies. It really, really feels overcooked to me. I would completely agree with Amanda's assessment right here. The other question here, Sideshow T asking, what is a butterfly? Motion, what's a butterfly? A butterfly is a multi-leg option trade designed to reduce the risk and the cost of entering the trade so that you can have exposure for a specific move. We did this by buying the December 40 calls, selling the 45 calls, and then buying the 50 calls. Your max profit is going to be when the stock moves to the body of the butterfly. That's that middle number, as close to expiry as possible. I understand that I've got a little bit of extra time here, which is okay. Depending on what the price action is, we may even leg out of those individually. Haven't made up my mind, but believe me, I will tell you folks when we do that. Okay. What other stocks you want to take? It looks like we've got less than a minute here. So I might just flip over to the main workspace here and start getting ready.
No worries. Somebody was asking about IoT.
Okay, I'm going to put that up here. I got to step away and get my tea here because I didn't have time.
Okay.
I'll BRB.
No problem. So real quick with IoT, since we don't have a whole lot of time, in 30 seconds, this has been on an absolute tear. I think we covered this yesterday or the day before, but this has been on an absolute tear. Seeing a lot of insider selling, and it's not hard to see why. This thing is just making, what is this, all-time highs? That's what it looks like. So for me, if you want my thoughts on it, I think this is going to have to cool down at some point, come back in. And I think the insider selling is kind of giving you that indication that it is a little bit overcooked, but I wouldn't be buying this up here. I think I'd want to wait for a lower level if I was going to go long. All right, so here we are. We're open now. And Meta and DJT may be trading against each other. That'll be a fun fight. Good morning, Richard. And good morning, multiple Richards. KMI looks good to you, Robert. Take a look at that. Also, take a look at some of these Kinder Morgan. So oil. Here we go with Zena, ZENA. That's coming back up to VWAP. And TWG, this is the one that had that offer. This one's trying to turn around here at from 4. And,
okay, sorry about that.
Sorry. Oh, there he is.
I'm back.
With authority. All right, so CAPR lower, ZENA trying to push up to VWAP. TWG looking like this is going to go lower initially here. Yep. And then there was one more we were looking at today too. PW. Let me see where that's at. What's this one doing? Not a whole lot right now. Has some not too enticing upper shadows, and it's got some pretty low volume. So maybe wait on PW.
Celsius pulling back here. This actually looked like this was going to be a continuation move from yesterday, pulling back to the pre-market lows. Will be interesting to see if it can hold this 35 here. Think if it does, we can go back to that VWAP pretty quick. And we didn't. Snapped it there. Lower we go here on Celsius. Folks, I'd like to know what the next level down here would be on Celsius. Maybe 34.5. Boy, we went to that spot fast.
And Zena, that popped over VWAP. Hung out there for a tick or two, and now it's coming back into VWAP. There's one attempt. It's still got 3 minutes left in this 5-minute candle. See if it can still make a close above VWAP. Okay. TWG trying to turn around. PW going lower.
Oh, TWG. Let's see if we can recapture that VWAP. I would be interested in that.
Just be careful. That's the one that just had the offering.
Yep.
Zena still trying to do something here. Pre-market high for Zena is 339. Pre-market high for TWG is 567.
Looks like 427 is that VWAP. 429, I beg your pardon.
Caper is trying to go green here.
Ooh, CAPR, we getting rolling there?
Volume needs to be better, but it's trying to go green. Zena is still trying to figure out what it wants to do.
TWG actually pushing away from that VWAP. So you were right there. Look, that's why we wait for that VWAP to confirm. Oh, one more thing, folks. I will try to remind again when we get closer to the end here, but just as a heads up, remember Anne-Marie left Florida. Anne-Marie also had a family issue, so she will not be joining us today. Look for Anne-Marie to join us next week. We're going to do Sandra's option show at 11 today instead of Anne-Marie. So Zunaid's going to hop on here at the end and send us over to Sandra, but we still got plenty of time to make some trades here today. TWG, all it had to do was shake out those weak hands. Look at the bounce we got now.
Yep.
And I was delivering the message about Anne-Marie and not paying attention.
That's
GLHF, Ryan, GLHF.
Hey, that's quite all right. The next time you talk to her, please give her my best.
I will. And I will send the best from the chat. I know you guys have been so kind to her. I will send the best wishes from the entire chat to Anne-Marie. I did miss this trade, though. I'm a tad salty about that, but I think I'm going to get another opportunity here. By the way, Sell H continuing to drop here, 33.75, 34 provided no support for that as we keep moving lower here on Sell H.
CAPR still trying to move up. It looks like trying to get through trying to get through 1850. Oh, and there it goes. Well, there's that.
Tesla, by the oh gosh, let me bring this up here. Tesla, let's party. Tesla down 9.5% here. Folks, here's what I want to know. Where is the bounce spot on Tesla? Because this thing's going to bounce at some point, right? This is going to find support somewhere. Where is that spot?
Oh, you know where I want it to be.
210. I know you want it sub 200, don't you?
Well, sub 200 would be better, but 200 I think is where it's going to get this most support.
Okay, let's see if we get down there. Bitcoin pushing up to the highs here. I see a number of you folks trading that in the chat. You just love to see it. Bitcoin 61,800 on the futures. Looks like it came off that 62,000 level here. You guys are mentioning that Palantir is going. Color me shocked, folks. Color me shocked, huh? Palantir ripping. Let's take that 44, baby. Let's go to 45.
Yeah. That's going to go to 45. What happens at 45 is anyone's guess, but I think we pull back.
Yeah, you know what? As bullish as I am on the stock and as much as I actually like what they do, I think that would be prudent if we pulled back at 45, right? Let this thing have a break. Let's not just keep going vertical. Well, the people in Just Calls are like, are you out of your damn mind? Let that thing go to 140.
I like everybody's comment with Tesla. Calling for the 200-day SMA. I'm like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me too.
TWG 50 cents past that VWAP cross that we were looking for. Oh man, TWG, this did give an opportunity. Sad I didn't hit that one. By the way, on that Tesla event, two stocks reacting positively to that event this morning, Uber and Lyft. Lyft here on the relative volume scanner. This actually a really good formation, right? Nice little impulse move above 1350, pull back to that VWAP and bounced. Let's check Uber and see how that's trading here this morning as well. Same type of deal, although that move not as great this morning.
I think I think there's multiple reasons why those two are going, but isn't there a big thought that there's going to be a lot less of a need for just people driving the cars? It's all going to be autonomous. So all their deliveries that use Uber, all their transportation needs, that it's just going to all be automated. So you have this huge, you're cutting out the human factor. That's a huge cost. I mean, I think there's some other reasons for this too, but I believe that's one of the bigger ones, isn't it? They're cutting out the human cost of this.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, they want to do, I'm sure that Uber and Lyft want to do automated taxi service. So seeing any type of perceived flop of that Tesla event is going to be conversely viewed as a positive for these two stocks. So I think that's what you're seeing here today. Amanda says, looking at the PE of Palantir, I'm happy for the friends that are in this, but a buy and hold here is chasing indeed. If you're looking to get a longer term position on Palantir, wait for the pullback. You will get it at some time. At some point, you will.
Richard, been mentioning
CAPR. I'll go to it.
Yeah. That's now getting some more movement. Got out of this consolidation from pre-market, and now we're looking at these pre-market highs here, starting with 1964
then 1989, and then 1990. So we'll just call it 1990 and 1964 as the next two upside targets. And then after that, we're into, gosh, what territory is this going to be? Let me look. Was this new all-time highs? No, that's 2198 is the all-time high. So we are going to be.
That's not even that far away, 13.
Not too far away. So, but the point is that we're not going to be there quite yet, but we can still get other levels. So after that one, 2030, and then 2150.
Okay, real good stuff here. CAPR. Very, Smoke Tune is mentioning Very. That did pop here. Pretty good stuff there on Very. Carmen saying, I saw a Waymo car here in Atlanta yesterday. Did you get in it, Carm? Did you have a automated or an robo-taxi drive you around? Tell you, when I land in Phoenix next week, if a unmanned car comes to pick me up from the airport, when I call it, I'm going to decline it and ask for a human. I can make you that promise here today. AEHR, another one of the stocks we were watching here today. Oh, would you look at that? It's doing exactly what I hoped it would do. It's going to sell off, get out some of those earnings players. Maybe we recapture the VWAP. We are right here at the VWAP AEHR. Let's see if we can cross above and go higher here on AEHR. Looks like it's still battling here.
Yeah, so is TWG. Big buyer at 45 for Palantir. That's really good for those that are holding.
Did you mean a seller, Lynn, or did you actually mean a buyer?
Yes, let us know if it's opposite day today.
Amanda here, our low end Tesla Butterfly up 117%. You know what?
It's not a bad idea.
There we go. Martin says Ryan is scared of the future only if the future chases me and tries to kill me. That is the only condition in which I am afraid of it. Lynn, yeah, you did mean a seller there. Don't worry, Lynn. We speak trader. We understand.
Here we go with CAPR.
With which one? Sorry, CAPR?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, also looking like AEHR. That backed off there. Let me go back to CAPR. That actually might be closer to going here. Got to spell it right, though, Ryan. Come on. There we go. Okay, so pre-market highs coming in here. This did not quite print 20 in the pre-market. I'll tell you what, though. I think this is going to print 20 here.
1990. That's the one to, yeah, exactly. Brian Jones, well, great with Terminator.
100%. In fact, Brian, this is 110% here. They tried to tell me that on pre-market prep this morning. They said, oh, it's like Terminator. I'm like, yes, guys. Yes, I grew up watching Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Yes, I am afraid of robots killing me. Yes, I'm not like ashamed to admit that.
Incredible documentary.
Incredible documentary. Oh, God. Cybernetic organism, living tissue over a meadow endoskeleton. Okay, I'm done. CAPR above 20 here. Nice little pop there. Really good stuff. AEHR breaking away from the VWAP. Straight up rejected like Mutombo. Lower we go here on AEHR.
So 2026, almost 2030 that we were looking for. So maybe we get a little pullback here in CAPR before we go higher. We're looking for, I think, what was it, 2150? Next upside target in that one? Yeah, we'll look at 2150. Good luck. All right, so PW, that has come in. Xena still kind of sideways since the open. TWG.
TWG, dude, this was the miss. Look at TWG. This printed fives above.
It might go up to the pre-market high of 567. It's still above VWAP. All right, so something's kind of slowing down, it seems.
AGBA, that had news here. Maybe that's going to take out its VWAP. PW, that was another one that we talked about. Don't really see a whole lot. Xena dropping. JTAI, this had an offering intraday yesterday, by the way, folks.
I was just going to say JTAI is moving for you penny players. That one's moving nicely. It looks like Balloons had some movement in pre-market, but not doing much right now. Maybe later.
Who's trading this 12-cent JTAI stock? AEHR maybe trying to bounce here. We'll see if that gets back to VWAP. Lyft pushing higher here. What does Uber look like? Uber and Lyft trade. Yeah, what did you do there? There we go. Both of those, same formation. Both of those look like those are trying to go higher.
Uh-oh. Getting a mention on for Disney. Is that back over 95?
Is?
Nope, not yet, but it's moving.
Amanda, Ryan, when things slow down, can you do your expected move magic on GEV? Yep, I'm looking for directional flies for earnings 1023. But GE has the best liquidity. I remember 80% of the strangle, but I can't remember which expiry use. I can answer that real quick. It is the near month. So the current month expiry is what you want to use. You do not want to use weeklies for that calculation or it will throw it off. You're talking about an event that takes place at the end of October. So you want to use that November 15th expiry there on GEV.
Wow, TWG is whipping around. Xena breaking down. Looks like 200 EMA is next support area on the 5-minute. CAPR still trying to figure out if it's going to get above 2026. And I also saw that we were just talking about Disney there. You know, Chris, if this doesn't recapture the 20-day SMA, I think a 50-day SMA test is going to come next. So I'd be watching for recapture and hold above the 20-day SMA. And we haven't got that yet after we drop beneath it.
Okay, I just did some napkin math here for you, Amanda. I had 1480 plus 2040 times 0.8 gives me $28 expected move there on GEV. 28 is what I got. That actually looks like quite a bit.
You know, it wouldn't surprise me if he did, Russa Kale.
Which wow, Uber all-time high. Does Elon own any equity in Uber? Kidding, of course. I don't think that he does. No.
Yeah, I was just saying it wouldn't surprise me if he did.
You're the best Bears fan I know. Well, you know what? That is a compliment, so I'll take it that way. Very getting mentioned here by Lynn and Randy. I know you guys have been all over some of those active movers. I think Smoke Tuna called this earlier as well. Indeed, nice call here because this was a nice little push off that VWAP and a push higher here.
It's a very nice call.
Very nice call. The dad jokes are out. By the way, AEHR bouncing off that. This might make it back to the VWAP here, AEHR. We'll see. The dad joke is so good, dude. Let's go. Wolf higher. DJT dip and rip. EWG, that's coming back to the VWAP here.
I like how the AEHR daily chart is showing that it's still holding above the 200-day SMA. Even though we dipped beneath it this morning, it's still holding above it. So that's encouraging. We want to see it close above that. All right, looks like CAPR is on the verge of breaking that intraday high of 2026. Need better volume than this, though. TWG might be pushing here. Still slightly above VWAP. Also looking a little light on volume. Volume's not looking great in some of these.
No, it isn't.
Be careful. Now, okay. So, Robert, yeah, you were mentioning that Yang was moving up at the open here, but it seems to be going down, and I think it may continue.
Capper pulling, CAPR pulling here. Let's see if it gets down to that 1884 on CAPR.
If Yang goes under 3,
nice double up there, Nicholas. Sorry to interrupt you there, but had to shout out this winning trade. Nice double up there.
Out of Caper. Well done, Chaka.
Nice job actively trading these guys and gals, excuse me.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Rustical, the Palantir butterfly. That's the only fly that I'm in right now. The expiry is the December monthly. That's 20 deck, December 20th. Fastenal, this all ticker FAST. This also holding right above its VWAP. This had earnings here this morning, traded higher. Let's see if this actually goes higher here on Fastenal.
Wow. SYM. You had this on your screen earlier, right?
Oh yeah.
Man.
Huge move yesterday. Another move here. Mish from the one of the pre-market prep guests really likes this name. She's been on this for a while. Big move here on SYM.
This was such a good resolution of an inverse head and shoulders, and we're still not done. I think it's got maybe the gap fill to go and then that pattern's done. But wow, what a great move! I was getting giddy about this yesterday too, and now you can see why. That was a really nice looking pattern.
The nuts and bolts of the economy, as Dennis described Fastenal earlier today. TWG here. This did come back to its VWAP. It's trying to bounce.
Yeah,
BK, this also reported earnings here. This is Bank of New York Mellon. They reported earnings this morning, along with JPM and Wells Fargo. JPM calls, I think these are getting bought. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's small. Never mind. Sorry about that. I got it mixed up with another line there.
All right. Well, kind of sideways in some of these. Fast and 5. All right, what's happening here with TWG? We actually going to get back over this 477 wall.
Let's see if we catch a bounce.
Really fighting with that VWAP right now. Xena still kind of lower, but sideways. CAPR the opposite, but sideways.
TWG is trying here.
Yeah, you know, JJ, I'm there with you. It just that's what I'm saying with this one. Be careful. I feel like it could just knife at any point. Uh-oh, Tesla, here we go.
What's is it turning around? Oh, actually, it might be here. Let me take a look here. Let me bring it on screen here for Tesla. And we recaptured that VWAP. Recaptured that VWAP here on Tesla. Who's trading this? Who's long Tesla? Lynn and Randy, you guys out there? You still doing this?
Curious to see what happens between 222 and 226. Feel like it could reject in that area. RCAT going says thinking about it.
Yes, Jay. I have Uber all-time high 83.89 on that push-up. Yes.
The Church of Elon.
I have bet against Elon. When I first started this, I was like, oh, yeah, this is over problem. I bet against Elon. Then I watched him land reusable rockets on a barge in the middle of the ocean. And I was like, probably shouldn't short this company.
Yeah, and we're going to have that SpaceX flight test sometime next week. That's going to be awesome. And they're going to try to catch it with the tower chopsticks, the two arms that come off of it that help lift it onto the orbital platform.
That's going to be so sweet to see.
Oh gosh, I mean, it'll be a spectacle one way or the other, whether it works or not. But if it works,
Robert, I will say, Robert, I do have a lot of respect for how you try to make drinking games out of a lot of things. That's always spicy and awesome.
All right, we got a new high in CAPR 2036.
Why isn't that on my scanner here?
PW with a knife here. Yep, PW knife.
There's a lot of penny stocks here today. MSTR MicroStrategy ripping here. That is moving with Bitcoin, but MicroStrategy really outperforming here. Uber also still at the highs. AEHR, oh my God, yikes! Did this just give back everything? Yeah, it sure did. Almost, yeah. Oh, okay, not everything. It's trying to bounce now. We'll see, but man, oh man. Cell H, no continuation. It looked like in the pre-market we were going to get some here on Cell H, but not yet. Guess maybe it is holding a VWAP bounce area from yesterday. We'll see.
Oh, Smoketon mentioning Airship. And, Nicholas, they might actually go and do this launch without the approval. And I think the thought here is that the fine, if they're going to fine the SpaceX, is probably going to be a lot less than not launching. The costs associated with that, because they've already got the NOTMAR and the NOTAMs outs already. So the safety measures are already there. I still think they're going to launch one way or the other. And yeah, you're right. The FAA may come down on them, but I don't think it's going to really make a big difference. They're so integral to the future of space flight for the United States.
Florida Yacht Insurance guy, woohoo! We got power back.
Right.
That is awesome to hear. I tell you what, you got power back faster than my buddy in South Carolina after Helene. So as far as I'm aware, you should be grateful for that. We're grateful that you're back here, Florida Yacht Insurance guy.
Yes,
did you pull a Lieutenant Dan and wait out the storm on your boat, or nah?
Oh, that's interesting. Thanks for thinking about it.
What happened?
He put some news about RCAT.
Ooh, should I bring it up on screen here?
Here we go.
No,
with
we
TWG.
I don't have RCAT. Maybe I should join the chat. Seems like everyone in here has RCAT. The news here: fulfilling an order by the Florida Army National Guard for its Teal 2 drones. Excuse me. The drones will be used to support the ongoing disaster response to Hurricane Milton. Okay, there you go. RCAT up higher, up 5.8% here on that news on RCAT.
CAPR coming in. Xena still figuring out what it wants to do. TWG lower.
Oh my, Jay, you were right. What a move here on JP Morgan. It normally doesn't move this much, does it? Almost 4.5% here on JPM. That's going to affect some of the other ones, isn't it? Yeah, I see BK on the scanner. Bank Mellon trading higher. We had Wells Fargo. They also reported earnings. They're higher. What about Regions Financial, ticker RF? Good ticker there, by the way, just saying. RF.
TWG trying to recapture VWAP and go.
I have it above VWAP. I have VWAP at 449. Does look like it's trying to push away from it. Jay Summers is just ATMing that. Let's go.
Shaka mentioning AOI.
He does every day, I feel like. So,
well, does this go up
at
every
least
day?
we know he's alive. AOI at the highs, though, all jokes aside.
Well, I mean, okay, now that I look at a daily chart, I can see why he mentions it a lot. And now you can too.
Take that. In the gap here, by the way, gap doesn't fill till 1980 or change.
Yeah. Imminent golden cross too. This thing may be, it may end up well into the 20s at some point. Not today, but at some point. All right. We finally getting this move in TWG. Oh, they just brought a huge bid, and there we go. Yay.
I am disappointed that I missed this one earlier. I really am.
Anthony, TWG is very, very risky. And so don't feel bad if you're not jumping into this. You too, Ryan.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Lunar breaking out to the upside. Glad I loaded up yesterday and the day before. Because we still have another catalyst coming with Lunar. So when it goes lower.
What is the upcoming catalyst with Lunar?
More NASA contracts. Don't know exactly which ones, but I think thinking about it may be able to provide more detail on it. He's been on top of these space plays and drone plays.
Sick.
Good mention on KMI, Robert. I saw you mentioning that earlier.
They had an upgrade this morning, didn't they? Kinder Morgan. The earnings in 5 days. Yeah, Bank of America. Yeah, I knew it. Bank of America Securities upgraded Kinder Morgan to buy and raised the price target to 27. We're only $2.50 away from that price target, but it did get that rating upgrade here. So giddy up on Kinder Morgan.
I bet we're going to see a lot of rating upgrades on these oil names. Look at
Halliburton. I think you're right.
Look at Halliburton. They got 2 in the past 2 days. 42 and 38. What's some other names? We'll look and see if they have ratings as well. Give us some other names.
I guess we could do COP, right? ConocoPhillips.
Okay.
I don't see any. Oh, Scotiabank yesterday.
There you
Scotiabank
go.
that lowers price target, that maintains sector perform, lowered price target. Another one that I put on here, XOM. Why do I keep doing that? Why?
Oh
does
yeah,
it keep doing
XOM and
that? XOM.
CBX.
Yep.
There's one from yesterday.
Scotiabank again getting in there yesterday on XOM. Okay.
Chevron yesterday. Scotiabank really sending it out, huh?
Yeah, and really quickly, Smoke Tuna calling AGBA as that does cross through the VWAP here. Next spot here, AGBA 126. If this can go higher, 144. Your pre-market high there on AGBA.
And then Schlumberger.
Schlumberger. That is a Mitch Schlumberger, but the Mitch reference there of Schlumberger just too awesome.
Yeah, that one 60 price target and 58. So it seems like there's a lot of attention being paid to oil right now, and it's not hard to see why, especially with everything that's going on in the Middle East. So
yeah, agreed.
Maybe we need to start looking at some of these oil names more closely. And I'm pretty well positioned right now. I don't know if I'm going to be needing to add any more, but because I wanted Chevron to go lower, and I'm not sure I'm going to get that now. I was hoping for the 120s.
AEHR here. I was just gonna say, I just had to start talking about it. That's it. I was gonna say, if it crosses this 1420, this might finally return to VWAP. The pitch down here is slowing down. Looks like maybe it's bottoming out here. I don't know though. As soon as I started saying that, it pulled. So we'll see here. CDT. Oh, that's just a 13-cent penny stock. Nah. Xena may be at the bottom here.
Anyone trading Lunar this AM? Replay, I'm in Lunar. I think I want to trim a little bit at 750, and we haven't quite got there yet. Got close, but not quite.
JPM continuing to move higher here. 5% on this move. On JPM, wow. Across the board here, see if I see anything else interesting.
Looks like TWG is trying to push, but there's some resistance at this 515 area. Volume needs to be a little bit better, but I'm not saying it can't push up to the 567 pre-market high, but volume needs to be better.
Okay.
CAPR, this one has been going sideways ever since it got up here. As long if it can hold this area, I think it could move higher above the 2036
yeah
high.
Okay, see if it can blow through 20 there. Got a whole bunch of penny stocks on the scanner other than TWG and PW. That's about it.
What's going on with Mara, Arcat, and Bohr? I mean, we looked at those this morning. I haven't looked at Bohr though. Let me take a look.
Well, we looked at Bitcoin. So, excuse me, Mara chart looks a lot like Bitcoin. BORR was the other one, right? That's the drilling company.
Interesting. They don't have any. Oh no, there is one, but that was from September 13th. For the price target. So no recent price target here. Bohr actually doesn't look that great. To me, that one looks like it's going to go lower. Maybe lose the $5 handle.
Looking at Tesla here, I'm seeing a lot of calls and puts getting bought. Probably more puts than calls on Tesla, but option activity flowing with Tesla. I have got to calm my slack down here. Come on, guys.
Okay. PW, after that knife it had been hanging out down around the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. I feel like this is going to break down again. It might trade up maybe to somewhere into the 140s, but I'm not sure that this gets back up to VWAP quite yet. I think it's going to break down a little bit more.
Uber and Lyft still rolling. Lyft chart looks better intraday here.
That does look pretty good.
Looking very good still. Nice clean bounce off the VWAP there.
Dad joke stealer.
Yeah, I mean, when they're that good, what do you expect?
I'm just teasing that.
AEHR, okay, maybe there's a bottom here. We've made our first higher low after a pull. So suppose that's good. But again, realistically, this still needs to get above 1420. I'd love to see some volume flow in here. We'll see if we get it. AEHR.
Yeah, Anthony, you're right. It did have well, I guess I'll call it a VWAP test, but it's coming back up. It wants to try that 515 level again. That seems to be the level to get over in this intraday session here. 515. That's
On
TWG.
which one is this again? The TWG, sorry.
Out of AEHR, no volume. Certainly looks that way. Like it's really just evaporated here.
Jay mentioning that Uber move helping Dash higher here. Didn't we have news with Dash and Tesla recently? No, Wegmans Food Market. No, that's not what I was thinking.
Well, watching Brewer says Shaka. What's Aunt Brewer doing?
Is it back?
It's coming back up. 120 is the pre-market high. Currently at 113. And if you look at a price ladder here, you can see that there's a huge wall at 121. They don't want it to go up. Well, guess what? See what the buyers have to say about that.
We shall see. Ooh, AEHR, folks. Let's see. Okay, let's see if it goes. Anyone going to trade this if it goes above 1420? Let's see what we do here. VWAP still at 1442. You know what? I'd actually wait for this to really kind of show some strength. I'm not sure I'd really gamble with this. Let's see if we can pop above that 1420. This thing's been nothing but pullbacks. Maybe the bottom is in. Maybe the bottom is in. What else we got? TWG flagging a little. Xena, PW. Uber.
CAPR are currently knifing down to VWAP, getting support there.
Wolf popping off of its VWAP here.
Okay, that was a great call in AEHR. That's moving over 1420.
That was the spot. Let's see. Are we going to get to VWAP there? Let me bring this back up on screen. Here it is. See if we get to that VWAP there. I don't know.
Still looks like it needs more volume than this.
Yeah, it sure does. That's really kind of been its problem here so far. We'll see. Oh, come on, computer. Don't fall asleep on me. No. Why? Not now. Not now.
TrueMed mentioning Bank of America. Almost at 42.
Try to get something on the screen here on this other machine so don't fall asleep on me. Looking around here.
I wonder if
LTR did pull back off those highs, but it looks like it's trying to go higher. Oh, I got a lot of stuff going on. Sorry. There we go.
Trying to maybe gets that over the next maybe it gets it next week.
Is this Palantir you're referencing for the 45 spot? Yeah, here we go.
No,
it's actually BAC. Sorry.
TWG still sideways. Not sure we're gonna hang out up here unless we get some volume to help push it up through 515. Xena still hanging out down here. Not sure if it's we're going to reverse yet or not. CAPR finding support from VWAP. Power is still in the process of making this bear flag. I still don't have a high conviction on this one at the moment.
Really quickly here, a couple of comments. Smoke Tuna, you need to get the new MacBook Pro, smooth handling multiple screens. I do have the new MacBook Pro. I'm on my desktop, but my MacBook Pro's in the other room. Is there an app that you're referring to? What are you referring to? I'm familiar with it. And then Amanda here, is anyone else imagining what Tim Melvin is doing looking at all this bank movement today? I would imagine if none of those banks got taken over, he's probably fixing up his property after he waited out the storm down there in Florida. Melvin, not being the active trader, he probably took one look at it and said, yeah, it makes sense, and then did something else. That would be my guess. I could be totally wrong, but that would be my guess.
I'd like to think he went to the bank to go laugh and visit with the other dollars he made.
that could also be the case. I'm just really glad everything went well there.
GNRC is moving up. We finally get enough pullback. Because we were talking about how this one needed to cool off. and then once
we were.
And then once it did, it might be able to go for another run here. So that's not bad actually. That came down. Well, it's at 63 RSI, so that's not bad. Would like to see it lower, but we could push up and back into the 170 area again.
Good morning, Fairchild. It's great to see you here this morning. TWG top heavy, says Tuna. It actually looks like that from the chart too. Tuna, I think I'm in agreement with you there on TWG.
Yeah, the inability to get over 515, that's really not helping it.
Oh my God, SPY ripping now, folks. SPY ripping. This is a new all-time high, isn't it? 578.45. This is a new all-time. I'm going back to the big chart. Hang on a second.
It is.
Blue sky breakout here on the SPY after that PPI print. So one of the things that we were looking at is where does this go in terms of the trend line? Well, we pushed away from the trend line. New all-time highs here on SPY. So what's next?
580.
You had an answer for that so fast. You weren't even phased by that.
I was ready. All right, so yeah, TWG is looking kind of weak, but it's. I don't know what's going to happen with this one. I feel like there's going to be a pull at some point, but I just can't say when.
AEHR, maybe back to that VWAP. NVIDIA, how we doing on NVIDIA? Can't quite get over 135. Had some resistance yesterday in the pre-market today. That is still on deck. Watch for this pop here. NVIDIA above 135. That might go. Huge seller at 135. There we go. Lynn, you literally we're literally reading the same playbook at the same time. That was cool. Now we're 5 cents away. Let's see what happens.
Nice work, Sideshow.
Sideshow gets a register ring for that for sure.
Now, I was hoping I'd be able to see iPoint come under 8, but it is ripping a little bit here today on very, very low volume, but still looking for under 8 in this one. Reload. TWG, that's still hanging out above VWAP. Might try to still take out that 515 as long as it can hold above VWAP.
NVIDIA on this 135, there is a ton of stock for sale at 134. I tell you what, that is going to need to be, that's going to need some real volume to take that out, I think. I mean, unless there's games being played here, that is a ton of stock for sale, 135 on NVIDIA. Let's see if we break this, though. I mean, they're hitting it. Are they printing it here? Let me see.
These Mag 7s are all, very close to their opens. Except
they are printing it. There it goes.
Amazon.
Lynn and Randy, hope you guys caught that one. Hope you guys caught that one. That's there's a scalp for you. Woo! Right through 141, the high print on that NVIDIA move right there. Giddy up. This is going to take that high out, it feels like.
140?
The one I have 135.41 as your day high. Okay, pulling off that spot there, but that break, oh man, that break was sweet. Nice little scalp there. So real quickly here, folks, the scalping strategy that I have been using for years that has really been failing me for the past year and a half because the market has changed is this right here, where you see a stock that is just strong run up to where there's a seller, and then that seller gets absolutely bulldozed. And that is exactly, look at the stick on NVIDIA here. This is exactly the type of upside range break that I have made my money in day trading. Recently, about the past year and a half, this hasn't been working, and buying weakness has been the better option here. Just did a little bit here on NVIDIA, and it worked out. Oh my, that is good. I want to see this come back. Give me a market when this comes back all the time. Sorry, 13.
Market Sniper asking if TWG is setting up, and as long as it holds above VWAP, there's a good chance this could try to take another stab at 515.
Amanda says, when I see an NVIDIA move like this, I go trade the Qs. Yeah, my SQQQ hedge, yeah, that's blown up. Jeez. It's for next week, so I have a week, but man, something terrible would have to happen over the weekend, and I'm not going to root for that. Amazon at the highs here as well, 188.94. I wonder if Bezos is still selling at 200. What do you think, 13?
I can look.
I just mean, I wonder if he's still sitting out there. If we trade back up, so what, 11 points, do we run into some more Bezos selling? AISP getting mentioned here by Tuna, that popping off the VWAP?
Probably. I think he may have already done all his selling for the year. I'm not sure, though.
Hey, AEHR, good call. Good call. Sideshow, good call. So this, I'll tell you what, man, this was tough. This was tough. For all of you that might be in this from yesterday's earnings, if you're still in this, well done, because this thing was showing strength in the pre-market that immediately reversed into weakness. We had multiple tests at the VWAP that were rejected and printed new lows. Now here, we're actually above the VWAP. Let's see if AEHR can go 1450 here, maybe a move higher in the cards.
Good morning, stay focused. It's funny you say that because I didn't say that not that long ago.
Literally 2 minutes ago. I asked 13. I go, where's it going to? He goes 580. Like it was just ain't no thing. And now here we go, 580 in the cards. Indeed, boss.
Oh man, that was funny. All right, so it looks like TWG is trying to get another shot at the 515 breakout level, but it is getting slapped down every time it approaches 5. If we break through this, it could get up, run to that 567 pre-market high. So keep that in mind. Think about it. You seeing another rejection here with Lunar at the 750 level? Are we going to break through this? Looks like we're trying to break through that right now, but it's been getting resisted there. Well, so far it's been getting resisted there. I think the last time it went up there was like at 747. And it got slapped down. So let's see if we get this breakout.
Lynn saying we're hosting happy hour today, Ryan, a real one. You know what, Lynn? There's going to be college football tonight. There's going to be hockey tonight. I think I'm going to pop a bottle of wine for Friday evening here and do that today.
TWG,
Jesse saying make sure to wear sunscreen. I heard it's still on fire. I heard it's supposed to be in the 80s. Apparently, I'm bringing some coolness to it. I'll take that. I'll take all the responsibility for that. TWG, are we going to go above here, 13?
It's certainly trying. The fight is on. I'm going to
cue this up here. Well, let's see if we can do that.
They really want to take out 515. Meanwhile, PW, that's looking like it's breaking down here. We were talking about that happening. CAPR, this is looking like it's trying to bounce. It's in the demand zone from pre-market, so we might get a bit of a reversal and move back up to VWAP at the very least.
TWG is going here.
Yes, it is.
Let's see. I actually might take a little bit of this here. Let's see. Okay, I've got that high at 525. Yeah, almost looks like 527, but I have the thing here at 525, so we'll see. Really needs to hold 5, right? If this comes back to that VWAP at 468, that kind of be a disappointment.
Well, VWAP's been kind of the big support area for this ever since it came back up above it. Just need to get that breakout over 515 so we can run to 567.
Yeah. 510 has a little bit of size there. Not really even a whole lot though.
Thanks for thinking about it.
Thanks. Oh, thinking about it. I was like leaking about it. That doesn't sound good.
No leaks here.
AEHR, so that pushed a little bit. Let's see if it holds this VWAP. If it does, this actually might go. SPY still ripping here. 13, you're going to get your correct call here, looks like. Did that actually? I got the high here, 579.55 on the SPY, so we didn't quite print it.
Doesn't mean we won't.
No, this ain't over yet. No question. Airship, Smoke Tuna again on this one. This right at that double top. Smoke Tuna, you think this takes this out and goes higher here? Sydney, good morning. You're mentioning SMC. I haven't looked at that all day here. Might as well do that as well. Boy, there's more chopped than a Benihana in there. Holy smokes.
All right, what's SMCI look like on the daily?
This at kind of a consolidation area.
Still,
Would you call this a supply zone 13? Sorry.
No, I'd say that's probably
Okay.
a little bit lower. But the thing that we were talking about with this one, ever since it tested that 50 days, that it's been between the 50 and 20-day SMAs, and that's kind of in the range. So whichever one breaks first, that's probably the direction we'll go.
Okay. Anthony saying TWG seeing a big seller there at 510. I see the same thing. We're hoping that seller gets taken out on volume here on TWG. That might ignite it. To be honest with you, might even sell into that move. AEHR knifing. Okay, so that was short-lived. I'll tell you what, this one was difficult all day. All day. So we knifed through the VWAP. Now we didn't really break down, so that's good here. TWG.
Yep.
Sold into that move. Let's go.
That was super quick. I think you'd have to have your orders out there already for something like that.
Oh, no. That was the market order right there, dude. Oh, my God. I got lucky. Oh, my God. I got lucky. Hey, sometimes better to be lucky than good. And actually, now that pulled all the way back down to the VWAP, this might be trying to push higher here, TWG.
567. I mean, 550, that was my exit, but 567, that's still possible.
Oh, I'm actually looking at my other trading group. They were also trading TWG there, and they were selling into that pop. So that's probably what helped it move back down. We were all doing the same thing.
Maybe
540 your spot here. It's going to go.
That group is that seller at 510.
No, they wouldn't be. No, they wouldn't be sitting on an offer like that. They would be hiding their stuff.
I'm just kidding.
Look at TWG. Look at this go, folks.
Yep.
Grats. We're doing it. The trifecta. This is how we do Fridays. We're definitely getting wine now. I might start early.
There's 6.
Oh my God. I'm all out. I'm all out. Yeah. Look at the so we talked about it needing volume. We got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do whatever it wants right now. I could go to $10. I think the trade's over that
oh man.
Trying to do
this. I tell you what, if this keeps moving this much, I'm gonna start asking for my shares back. Take that money and come to Florida and go golfing. First golf in Arizona, next Florida.
Carmen saying we should look at SMR.
Oh, this move on TWG. Let's go, folks.
SMR. That was a nice move off of the 20-day SMA.
Holy smokes, SMR. Staircase up.
All right, so TWG. Now we're getting the pull right back down to the pre-market high. So now that's resistance turn support. We're going to want to, it probably will end up going lower. But if we can continue to hold above that breakout spot, 515, still might be a chance for it to for more upside. But that was the trade, I think. I think we're all good here.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens if this comes into VWAP on something other than like a turbo fast knife, which was the last time that it came into that. Like that's not tradable for. If you guys can trade that, great. I can't. Let's see if it comes back into the VWAP there and hold it. Maybe it holds at 5 too. But this was a good one. This one should be booked at this point. Maybe you have a trailer on in case it goes higher. Yeah. See, Comp's right. I agree with him. Yeah. I agree with him. Don't chase this one here. Let it go. Indeed. Let it come back in if you want to trade this one, but otherwise look for something else. That's good.
Take what the market gives you.
Jane saying, dang, I left money on the table with TWG. So did I, Jane, but we did not take a loss.
Mm-hmm.
We did not take a loss.
Comp, you're saying Cree and SPY, putting shorts on both of them as a time. Have they run enough? I mean, I don't disagree with that on SPY. These are some big moves we've had just in the past few days. But when you look at a monthly chart, it's like, where does this end?
I'll tell you what, you look at a 1 minute chart, it looks like the top is in. You flip over to a 5 minute chart, you're just not sure yet. It kind of looks like it's still figuring it out here. So Comp, I would say I can understand why you're short. I mean, the other thing is they've done this 5 minute chart. Look at this ramping volume. Maybe this is the top here. If I were shorting this, I would be careful on a break above these 2 wicks here though. You agree? Perfect. We're on the same page, Comp.
Lunar rejected at 750, kind of like we were thinking. But if this can stay above VWAP, or let's say 735, I think the next visit it goes, it has back up to the 750 area, it'll break through. As long as the volume's good. But
Smoke Tuna, I love this comment.
Yeah.
Leaving the money on the table is better than losing the money you have on it. Indeed. Indeed. My God, even Portillo's is up today. Let me pinch myself, make sure it's reality.
Who needs the next contract announcement? Gotcha. Looks like CAPR are trying to recover. It's currently in the process of trying to recapture VWAP.
Trevor mentioning CrowdStrike. This, you know what? This actually has been a rather impressive. Here we go. Here's the daily. Here was from the big debacle with CrowdStrike. Drove the stock all the way down to 200. We are up 117 points from the low print of August 5th. This has been a great long side swing. I'm not in this one. I was kind of worried about some of that CrowdStrike stuff. We're actually in the gap here now on CrowdStrike. This gap doesn't fill to about 343. 343, we'll call that there. Maybe 342 and some change. This CrowdStrike, this looking good, Trevor.
AEHR is still moving up. I think we're going to get to a topping out spot here in this move at around 1475, not too far away from there. If we go higher than that, then we look at the, maybe the 15 handle somewhere in there as a for resistance. But 1475 is the next spot I think we get resistance at for AEHR.
Rustical, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend. Thanks for all your support in the calls here this week. We'll see you next week, boss.
Take care, Rustical.
TWG, is this Gearin? JJ, look, I'm with you, man. It doesn't make sense. A lot of stuff with the market doesn't make sense. If you can't beat them, okay, it actually, to tell you what, the picture changes quickly here in TWG. This actually did look like it might retest 6. Now it looks like it might come back in and retrace some of this stick. I'm taking in, the chat talked about it. I'm hands off.
Yep.
I'm hands off on this one.
Yeah. Well, there will be another day on Monday. We can do this all over again. We killed TWG in the best way we could. Let's just accept that and we'll move on.
Amanda, I'm not sure how many people are going to get this one, but oh my goodness, am I glad that you're saying I have been on this. I tell you what, my heart went from my chest cavity to my throat. Here's your reminder to click flatten when you exit a trade. That QQQ spike ended up giving me a net short position. That could have been bad. By the way, pro tip for you Thinkorswim users, there's actually 2 flatten options in Thinkorswim. I use flatten now because it's just get me out. And I actually use that to get out of day trades that end up working. Amanda's comment here, really, really good. Makes it impossible to accidentally reverse and go short.
Yeah.
Fastenal at new highs, Jenks. That had earnings here today. Looks like that's continuing. Indeed, Fastenal. The nuts and bolts of the economy. Higher we go here. Did we fill that gap? Oh, we did. We did fill the gap there on Fastenal. There you go. This is actually a resistance area here. Call it 74.5.
I was also going to mention of ANET, ANET. That has a nice looking daily chart as well. This thing looking like that Abercrombie and Fitch stock, where it just continue to go up and up and up. Several pullbacks here and there, but man, this thing has just been on fire this year. I think it's doubled since the start of this year. Yeah, pretty close.
Abercrombie, you know what that just reminded me? Your mention there reminded me of the song Summer Girls by LFO, where they name drop Abercrombie and Fitch. I don't know why, but it did. And you're right. I mean, this chart from left to right here, just completely going up. Abercrombie and Fitch was doing the same thing. This actually, now that we're looking at this daily chart here on Abercrombie, ticker ANF, by the way, maybe we break above 148.5 here.
TWG, I think, is setting up.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to get anybody excited about getting into this one, but I'm just saying, I'm looking at it and it looks like it's setting up. Just exercise discipline. If you know, I don't know what this is going to do, but it looks like it's going to try and go higher.
LASE, this also looking like this is going to try and go higher. Tuna, nice job.
I'm not going to jump in TWG. Even if it does go higher, I'm not going to jump into it. It's the I like the setup, but the whole breakout of 515 looked a lot better to me than what we were getting here. I don't like the volume, even though the setup looks nice. Looks like CAPR is still having a hard time getting back above VWAP. PW, this has been a stinker ever since, well, it had a nice open and then it was awful. Looks like this is going back down to the supply zone from yesterday. Or demand zone, I'm sorry, the demand zone from yesterday. So might see a turnaround between here, where it's at, and 120.
AEHR back above the VWAP holding there. This actually, keep this one on your watch list for the afternoon. We shake out some of these weak hands here in the morning. You actually might get a tradable move in the afternoon. Glenn saying that Chipotle wants 61. Oh, Chipotle with a nice day here today. Ooh, this is a good-looking daily Glenn, dude. Maybe we do. You've got the price there, 61.26. See that, Glenn? No position for me in Chipotle.
Yeah, 60, what, 60? That seems like a pretty nice spot.
I got an interesting idea here. Every time I go to Chipotle, if I ever think about like going out to dinner and going to a restaurant, I'd normally spend what? $60 a person, $50 a person? You can get a drink or two, a meal, tip. That sound about right? Good estimate?
Sure. I haven't been to Chipotle in a long time.
Well, here's not for, I mean like a sit down restaurant. I think what I'm thinking here is instead, I got a trade plan here for Chipotle. Every time I want to go to a restaurant and I can successfully talk myself to going to Chipotle instead, I'm going to take that extra money that I save and buy a share of Chipotle and throw it away. When I say throw it away, I mean, like save it, throw it into savings. And then every time I'm spending less on dinner, I can add stock to the portfolio. I got to think Chipotle keeps moving up. Maybe we'll try that sometime. I'll let you know if I start that.
Yes,
like, that's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
No, I mean, that's actually not bad, especially for people who are just starting to get into investing. Not a bad idea.
Jay saying, Ryan, you ain't looking good on your elf bet with Dennis. You're right about that. I had even said 110 needs to be the spot there. But you know what, Jay? I got no problem sticking my neck out and being wrong. Dennis is one hell of a trader. He is better at this than me. He's been doing it longer than me. I still think that Livermore level of 100 gets tested. We'll see. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. How about that? But you're right. This is moving completely against me. Let's see where we are next week on elf.
Yeah, Scott, I'm not sure if Cena's got a bottom here. It looks like it's trying to. I won't say no. I'm not sure I'll say yes. Still could end up going lower.
Robert, sorry. I thought you were done. I'm sorry, man.
No, go ahead.
Robert, better to have a fat portfolio than a fat gut. Am I right? Am I right?
That's a nice way to do it, Jane Smith.
Build up a vacation fund any way you can, dude. How's DJT doing here? All right, so we had a little bit of fireworks early, but we kind of pulled back. Still higher than yesterday, but nothing, no real setup there. Wolf continuing higher. That's WOLF, not WULF. 1078 here. Looks like that's just shy of 11.
Arden, I think that some people thought that way because September was so strong. We didn't get that seasonality we usually get in September, where it's the markets typically are weaker. So they thought, well, maybe it's next month. Turns out that bet wasn't right either.
Yeah, I agree with you. By the way, I think most of the impetus to short the market around this period here was around that seasonality. And you're right. They just jammed everybody that was short. We didn't get that. By the way, Joe, a one-up call in order for you here. SPY did exactly print 580, came back in a little bit. I actually have 580.10 there. So I'm gonna need you to tighten that up by 10 cents, but that was a really good call.
Oh, I completely screwed that up, didn't I? Well, let's see what happens next. Gosh,
the Costco burrito kit. I don't think I've ever got that. Maybe I should.
A kit?
Yeah,
I
were
know
you
that
like put burritos together?
I I didn't know that they actually made burrito assembly kits.
The one that I've seen that I've really like looked at like and done a double take has been the street taco kit. That thing looks like it. Oh my goodness, that looks good. By the way, PLTR here did have that little run out of the gate all the way back down to balance. This did do a green to red move here on Palantir. That's okay though. You know what? We talked a lot about this. This is pretty overcooked here on the RSI. So frankly, if this wants to just kind of hold out here, maybe come in a little bit, let this RSI get back down under 70. Remember the last time we did that, we ended up ramping. So let's see if we get that again here. Palantir, ticker PLTR.
Yeah, vintage tool. If you're looking for an entry, long-term entry into SPY, I don't necessarily think that now is the best time to get into it. Especially, I think you'd probably want to do it maybe sometime. A lot of us think there's a correction coming. Wait for some market weakness. I think we've talked a lot about how buying the weakness in really good ETFs and stocks is the better way to go. And right now it's very strong. So just with that principle, I don't think it'd be right now a good time to get it. But once we get that correction, probably sometime in the beginning of next year, we might see something like that. That'd probably be a better time, in my opinion.
Yeah, the mac and cheese from Costco is lights out. Yes. My Costco run is tomorrow morning.
Well done, Neville. He's got the SMCI and he's done.
All right. Registering. I actually meant to give you the register ring there, but you get both instead. TWG maybe curling here. Maybe. Wisdom. Where have you been?
Oh my gosh. Hope you're all right, man.
Broke my ankle in 3 places and tore up my back. Oh my God. What happened?
Yeah, which football team do you play for?
Who's your backup so I can pick him up in fantasy?
Yeah, like who are you stepping in for, man? Where you have to break your ankle in 3 places? I am sorry to hear that, dude, and I hope you've recovered quickly. That doesn't sound fun at all.
Amazon, by the way, looking for that 190 print, 189.87, your high print here today.
I think
what did NVIDIA do after we traded that pop through 135?
I think TWG, this candle that we're in right now, this 5-minute candle, this is going to have to be the one that turns around and takes us up. Otherwise, I think we're going to break down and have to test VWAP maybe a little lower. Okay, looking around.
Capper the Gapper. That's entertaining. Still up 8.5% here. Yeah,
still looks like Xena is going lower. That's kind of what it was looking like. Still not sure where the support's going to be with this one. Maybe down in the 220s.
Oh my God, fell off a ladder and then my mom fell on me. That like reminds me of a cartoon where after that a coconut falls on your head. That's just really bad luck.
You weren't putting Christmas lights up, were you?
It is October.
I know. I know.
TWG, it's curling. It's trying to go.
This is the candle. It has to do it.
Yeah. Okay. We're making too many jokes here. I was trying to save my mom. Well, gosh.
Gotcha.
Hopefully your mom's okay. I echo what Fairchild's saying here.
Hopefully everybody's okay.
We're getting a turnaround here. Looks like AEHR still sideways, but still getting support from VWAP. We're almost at 750 again. Is this the one where it breaks through? Might be.
Oh gosh. No, I'm very adamant about waiting until after Thanksgiving to do all that. I know a lot of people aren't, but got to have my holiday first.
I'll tell you what, when I was a kid, when I was a kid, Thanksgiving, I used to spend it at my aunt's house, and my aunt would make the most amazing Thanksgiving dinner. It was one of my favorite holidays. And the next day was always the Christmas decorations. I looked forward to that day all year 13. I'd volunteer to get up on the roof, string the lights across the top, and Mom would do the Christmas tree. Oh man, that's nostalgic good times from childhood right there.
Looks like TWG is having a fight with this current candle here.
AEHR trying to break out here. Let me pull up TWG. And knife on that candle.
Was PW finally turning around? And the Baiynd, this is so low, I don't even think this is worth looking at anymore. But yeah, this TWG candle that we're in right now, this 5-minute candle, this is the one. It's got to do something here. It looks like SPY's getting a pull as well.
That 580 call is about as crispy as it gets so far here, 13. Stopped it dead, stopped it right there.
Well, that's a good point, Amanda. I mean, like, I've got plenty of time.
I'll tell you what. I read her comment here, and she says that my ladder buried in snow. I would give anything for the snow to start showing up right after Thanksgiving. I'd give anything for that. I love the snow. I love the winter. That would be sweet. Give it to me.
Christopher, because there's likely going to be a better opportunity to get it lower.
Christopher, here's what I'd like to know. We talked about this kind of being a nothing burger earlier. Can you tell me what specifically blew you away from that event? That I'd be curious. That I don't think there's a wrong answer here. I'm legitimately curious. What blew you away? And if that's the case, then wouldn't this represent a buying opportunity? The robots were awesome for one. So what is the robot? But we didn't get specifics. Like, what can it do? Like, is it going to do my laundry? Is it going to do the dishes? Or is it going to short out because it gets water all over itself? Like, what do the, is it going to do the Xmas lights? I mean, what is the robot going to do? What's the utility?
Like, is it directed more towards people with limited mobility? And how do they, I mean, I guess I need to like go and look and see what the robots were doing, because I thought they only came out toward the end of the presentation. I don't know if they were, people dressed up, or if they were actually robots. And if they're actual robots, how do they compare to the Honda robot that they've had, they've been developing for years? I would like to know. Okay, so it looks like TWG ended up, that candle could be considered a reversal candle. It's neutral, but could be a reversal candle here.
I think this thing really needs to test 6.
Yeah, I know he said that, Christopher Anthony. He also said that we'd be able to, have robo taxis by 2020. He's also said we would be able to have, EVs for that price. That remains to be seen. So a lot of things that he says, they don't always come to fruition in the time frame that he's talking. So that's kind of why I'm like, we need more details. We need something more solid, because his timelines aren't always 100%.
I'll be honest, I'm less concerned about the timelines than whether or not the execution is possible. The other thing, someone brought it up here. Glenn, keep in mind, Musk is a potential government dude. This is where I sit. I think I think for sure, I think the election's going to be an absolute gangbusters landslide. And I think Musk is actually going to have a spot inside the cabinet where some of his companies are going to get more help and more exposure. And he's just going to be connected to more things. I think that the potential for him long term is really, really great. So we'll see. We'll see if he can pull it off. I'll tell you what, if you're bullish on the long-term prospects of the robot, the robo-taxi, Tesla in general, SpaceX, a move down on an event like that reminds me of the Apple iPhone. The channel checks say that the phone sucks. That's a buying opportunity. That's what that is.
Well, looks like TWG is
Here it
doing
goes.
some of the thing. Well, it's looking like it's going to go. I'd like to see the volume be better, but if we do see the push here, it's got to get through 629. Looks like it's possible, and here we go. All I just got to do is just start talking about it, and it goes wild. I don't know that it breaks out. It can do whatever it wants. I don't care. We already had the move. Anybody else? You don't have the funds to buy SpaceX. I've been waiting for that to, go public at some point, but it's still in the pipe investment phase, I guess.
I got a couple of birds out in the tree here having a disagreement with each other. It's rather amusing. Sorry for getting distracted. MSTR, by the way, so Bitcoin didn't break out of those highs, but MSTR did. 200 prints coming here in MSTR. The 6 prints coming for TWG, it looks like. Let's see if it breaks above 6.
It did once already. It got to 615.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Let's see if it can continue to do that. Gold breaking up. Hey, Line Atlas. Do I look surprised? And by the way, you've been awesome on that trade for the longest time. So well done.
By the way, the Pan W to 375 completed here today. Let's see if it can actually break above this. This would be new all-time highs. Potential blue sky breakout here, Pan W. Let me get you that exact number here. High. 380.84 is your all-time high. We are almost there. Watch for a potential blue sky breakout, Pan W. In fact, you know what? So this might be another one we might have to ask Anne-Marie about when she's back, setting up a trade for this. Maybe we get a pullback here from this and create a double top. That would be sick.
Yeah, TWG is above 6 now.
There it goes.
Okay, well, now that TWG is trying to make a new intraday high, what else is going on here? CAPR try to touch VWAP again, not quite there and getting rejected. PW looks like that's trying to turn around. It's got to get back above the 200 EMA on the 5-minute first. Buru breaking down.
Okay.
Xena, maybe this is the next stop before it goes lower. Not sure if this is the bottom here for Xena.
WW back on here. Worth watching. Maybe a move through 2 here. WW.
Oh, look at that. It had a pop up to 207 this morning and has not been back up there since. All right. Well, things kind of in a holding pattern mostly. Looks like AEHR, after dropping there through VWAP, it's finding support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Not sure if that's going to hold. Well done, Line Atlas, on your profit there.
Oh. Woo. Folks, just want to thank all of you for hanging out with us all week. It's just really, really great back and forth here. Great calls, great discussion. You folks seem like you've really been doing awesome. So just want to thank everyone for hanging out with us all week here. And I appreciate the flexibility and understanding. Anne-Marie has some real life issues she's got to take care of. So really just appreciate all of you. Glad that you're here. Smash up that like for 13 and I. It's a free way of supporting us. We really appreciate it.
Wisdom asking about any ex-girlfriends that I have my eyes on. Oh gosh, saying that out loud is not good.
I was going to say, is your wife still on that business trip? Because geez, that could get you in trouble. I mean, I'm just being honest.
And here am I encouraging her to watch this stream when she misses me.
Now would be the right time to reiterate that ex-girlfriends refer to stocks that we've traded, folks.
Oh yeah. As far as that goes, I'm on Lunar right now. that one has a contract catalyst coming up. Just not exactly sure when. Playing a couple of these other ones we were talking about in happy hour, but they're not necessarily old ex-girlfriends. Let me see what I got here. I don't think any of these are really ex-girlfriends. There's some newer issues. So I guess my answer for now is no, not at the moment.
Goldman
Other than
Sachs
Lunar.
holding higher here.
Yeah, just Lunar right now.
Look at Goldman Sachs. Do we have maybe another potential blue sky breakout here on Goldman Sachs? Let me take a look at the options here. I might actually take a stab at one of these.
Hey, thank you, Jay Rice. Appreciate it. And thank you, Wisdom, for the kind words. The hex, yeah.
Appreciate you, Wisdom, and Jay, and everyone else that hangs out with us here, to be honest.
Yeah, and Amanda's right. They're all old ex-girlfriends because they tried to put up the Christmas tree too early.
This is
The one that didn't argue with me about that I put a ring on.
that's good too.
Gotta let me have my turkey day.
Goldman
fair compromise.
Sachs.
Well, we're really getting some dropping in the SPY now.
Is this just a regression back to the mean? I gotta think that that's the case. Let me bring it up here. We'll take a look at it. Yeah, we got the VWAP here, 578.5. I'm back in and see if we hold there.
Take care, Jay Michael. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yep. Thank you, Jay Michael. Have a great weekend. A great weekend. Man, I can't wait for this weekend too. I got the Bears game is the early game in London, and then I'm going over to a friend's house. He's going to smoke a bunch of chicken wings in his smoker.
Nice.
Oh my God. It's going to be a good weekend, especially Sunday.
Your mention of Wonder Woman, that's looking like it's going to try and test this intraday high of 207. Still moving up. As a matter of fact, I can see a large order at 208. So if we get to 207, it's hard pressed to make it through 208. That's a lot of shares to chew through. Okay. Okay, so
AEHR lost its VWAP. That came back in.
Yeah, same with TWG. That had to move up over 6, but couldn't quite hold it. Not sure if it's done or it's just setting up for the next move up, but still not going to be trading this one anymore today.
Anthony, take care of yourself, my man.
Take care, Anthony.
Great week. Great week. We'll see you next week.
That's a good question, but I think at the very least, it's going to increase your chances of not being alone on Saturday night.
I mean, Robot says companions. Come on, we can do better than that. All of us.
I know, but we're kind of already there. People, that's already a thing. Robotic companions. I'm not going to get any further than that.
I was going to say, I don't even want to know any further than that.
Don't even want to get into any more than that. You can look it up yourselves.
A red wisdom. Oh my, wisdom really going off here. A red wine infused Ryan with a smoky Kush sauce. And you want me to get wine drunk and baked from the same? I mean, like, what on earth?
Well done, ADW Texas. Had a BA for a nice profit. Also looks like TWG is trying to get some volume here. CAPR still trying to touch VWAP.
Jared saying, I want a robot to cut my firewood. Kind of like chopping firewood, you feel like a mountain man, right? And, rip your sleeves off or take your shirt off when it's all cold and chop the wood up and be like, I'm tougher than you.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a robot to take away my lumberjack, and I want to do that myself.
I get very little chances to lumberjack that I think I want to actually lumberjack when I get the chance.
Yeah.
But I get you. Sometimes there's going to be days, especially if you frequently cut firewood. I get you. You probably want to have somebody else do it. So I can understand that.
Tom, I appreciate this. I appreciate this a lot. I appreciate you saying this about my team a lot. Lucas is awesome. Lucas is a really, really nice guy. And I'll tell you what, Lucas deals with some of the grenades around this place and is always able to keep a really nice disposition. So to hear you say this, this really means a lot. I appreciate that. I will actually deliver that message to him personally.
Yeah, Fairchild. That's the point I was making. And if you do it every day, then I can totally understand having a robot do it. Totally get that. Gets monotonous after a while, and probably rough on your hands. Look at Wonder Woman. That actually topped up to 207. Just rewound it to, and that wall at 208 still holding. That was pretty cool.
Oh, Jay, no, I haven't, but I will check that out. I'll tell you what, the one thing that I have not done yet, I really want to do some awesome mountain golf. Just let me get up there. I hit my first 300-yard drive in the thin air. I'll take that.
Is that like a pass to be called Canadian Shaka? You have to have a log splitter. Gotta let me know. If I ever decide to move to Canada, I'll have to make sure I get one.
All right. So what are we doing? Okay. So it looks like CAPR finally touched VWAP. I don't know what's going to happen next, but to me, I think this would have to come back down. It just doesn't look like it has the strength. Wonder Woman still trying to figure out if it wants to try to break through 208. It's going to need a lot of shares. Personally, this one looks like it's going to come back in a bit.
Chicago Realtor, you are awesome, man. And thank you for all the support that you give us. We're really thrilled that we've created a really awesome community around here. We will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend and go Bears.
Take care, Chicago Realtor. TWG still not done, it looks like, but
it looks like it's going to try and take out this double top here. I don't know.
Watch it do the thing where it just kind of breaks out and comes right back in like it did with that 615 level. Or not that 615 level. There was another. There we go. And it popped and came right back in. Perfect.
And look how fast it was.
Yep.
I mean, that is, you guys.
It do be like that. It do be like that. I told you I'm not trading this one anymore today. So that was
I wasn't in that either. And great show today. Go Eagles. Hey, you know what, Ann? I'm going to join you for that because my fantasy team, which is getting smoked, really needs A.J. Brown back. And I guess he's back this week. Let's get him into the end zone twice and fly, Eagles, fly. How about that? Let's do it. I'm in.
I really like all these compliments, guys. I appreciate it.
Well, I think that when you end a big week, like we had a lot of really good stuff. By the way, MSTR over 200 now. This thing is just ripping. This is probably what do the options look like on this one? I bet this was probably the play of the day here. Dude, the November contract, the 200 call is up 52% today alone. Wow. Big move here, MSTR.
Oh, nice mention on BKTX, Shaka.
Oh, Wisdom. You know what? I think he did that already when they had the NFL draft.
Yes. I was the dude from Saturday Night Live. That was fun, man. I'll tell you what, that was a lot of fun. I went back and watched that the other day. I sent it to somebody. I went back and watched it, and I was like, wow, I did actually lose weight since then. And I was just all like pumped up. I was like, yeah, hard work's paying off. Let's go.
It's like going through a time machine.
Oh man, that was a confidence booster. That was sweet.
What am I being careful for, Lynn? What did I do?
Lift back to the highs.
Looks like Zena's finally trying to turn around here. It needs to recapture the 200-day SMA.
Now, is this the Warrior Princess? No, it isn't. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, not 200-day SMA. 200 EMA on the 5-minute. I should probably change the colors.
So how's Nike doing? Okay. So me being an inexperienced shorter has reared its head. I got stopped out of this. So I actually did close this for a gain. It was 1.5, so it wasn't terrible, but I was really looking more closer to 10 points. This thing came back up. This would have been a perfect area to reshort or add to that short. I didn't do it. Watch this now break and go lower here. We did get news recently that they were kind of stepping up their buyback. They still have $8 billion in the authorization for that. So shout out Stay Focused for helping me out with that one. That had me a little nervous here, but man, this action, maybe this does roll back over and test what, 80?
Len and Randy, have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. Great work. Jay Rice, thanks for the info on Bitto. I've been adding some Bitto this week as well. Smoke Tuna saying Xena found the bottom at close to his 230 call. That was great. Right around the same area I was looking for. I think I said I was looking for 220. Fairchild, make sure you wear that and send a picture of what that looks like. I'm curious.
Real quickly, I just heard from Zunaid. Remember, we are going to go to Options Sandy with Zunaid. Zunaid is going to be 3 minutes late. So he's being very, very specific and proactive. So we're going to be on here for what looks like another 5 minutes. We will be going over to the other options show. But we're going to do it just a couple of minutes late here as we wait for Zunaid.
All right. While we're doing that, we can watch TWG try to take out this 671 high that it put in about 5 minutes ago. It has been a great week, Line Atlas, and I'm glad you're killing it with that crude and gold. That was great.
Yep, been a great week. Jane Smith, you're welcome and thank you. The weather is great. I love this. Give me fall and hoodie weather. I can't wait. I can't wait. It's going to be good. Going to be good. The EHR kind of came back in. You know, yeah. Is it just me or is everyone else's scanner kind of slowing down too? This actually made a move back to the view app. Does seem like things kind of slowed down here, no?
I'm not looking at a scanner. I just have a list and I'm just watching those. I'm just clicking on them and watching them trade, and they do look like they're really starting to slow down.
Yeah.
One wasn't like TWG. That one's not really slowing down. That one's volatile. Just don't know if we're going to get that breakout or not. This one, the move we wanted or we already got. So this can do whatever it wants, and I don't care. Looks like
how did Palantir finish up? Let me go back to that here. I finish up. God, it's still in the morning. It's not even lunchtime. Come on.
Take care, Jared. Have a great weekend. You too, Robert.
Tesla still kind of holding in here.
Let's take a look at Tesla.
Yeah. TWG looks like it's done for the morning. Might be.
Yeah, I feel like Tesla may end up going lower throughout the day, just based on the way it looks right now. If it loses 220, then I think it's going to come down to 215. Let's see if that's the case.
Brandon, that's what we try to do. Try to, this trading stuff can be a serious business. It can be it can be a real stressful thing. So we try to take the edge off by being entertaining. That's why the dad jokes are so prevalent here. It's why I like to make fun of myself. It is what it is. If I can add levity to something that's rather serious, then I feel like it makes it better for everybody. But hopefully you're enjoying your time and learning some stuff. That's what we try to do.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to having you, trade with us when you get comfortable and knowledgeable about and have a plan about what you want to do with trading. So looking forward to that.
James, if you could only get shorting down, you'd be a real Chicago Bear, Ryan. That is true. I will say though, I'm dipping my toe in more. The Nike one worked. I kind of got shaken as it traded back up. That's all. We'll keep looking for some good setups though.
I feel like you'd probably end up doing really well selling calls.
Yeah. Yeah, that actually might be another way to do like a synthetic short. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, Tom B. It's true. They really do.
MSTR.
Give you confidence in being able to put these trades out. He's talking about butterflies and how great they are. I think that for me, it gives me, when I do them, which isn't very often at all, I feel confident.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about butterflies is, when you hit one, like this Palantir is a real good example. That pretty much was straight up from the fill of the butterfly. The whole point of the butterfly here is to reduce the risk and your exposure here, so you don't get absolutely slapped. The one thing is that when you really time one and you're looking at those calls go up and up and up, and then you're looking at that body, those calls that you sold, and that's dropping and dropping, and you're like, why didn't I just pick the directional long there and just go on? It's just try to avoid that. Remember what the whole point of the butterfly there is, kind of reducing some of your risk. That's part of Anne-Marie's overall strategy, but it makes it a lot easier to hold and trade it. You're not really messed up by some of the back and forth days there. I like butterflies. They make it easier for me to kind of hold.
Well, then, Elon, on your trade?
Ryan has a heart that's made of love and pop rocks. What does that even mean? Did you ever believe that story that the what do they call it? A tall tale? Yeah, where you put pop rocks in soda and then you chug it and it makes your stomach explode. I tried that. It doesn't make your stomach explode. You have a stomach ache, but it doesn't explode.
I burped.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not the end of the world.
TWG with a new intraday high, 683 now.
My God, this thing has been great all day.
Yeah, let's see if I can find, man. This thing it's blue sky. There's nothing up here. I don't have any frame of reference on where this could go. So that is your risk to bear if you're trading this now. And we finally got that move over 750 in lunar. Trimmed a little bit there. Some of these other ones not really looking like anything's going on. That TWG, that's been the best mover today, and it's looking for 7 now.
Diet Coke and Mentos, Fairchild. I've made my fair share of fountains with that. Made my fair share of fountains with that. AEHR here at the VWAP. Again, folks, we are waiting for Zunaid here. He should be here soon.
Robert, I thought that was Alka-Seltzer. Don't ask me how I know that either. Yeah, okay. Well, TWG, we are just absolutely rocketing now. 740.
So can I get my shares back? Because I know I made money on this, but now we're like, really ripping on this thing. Oh my.
I have no regrets. We successfully traded this one. I told you many times, I don't care what it does. This could go to $100. I wouldn't care. I'm not going to jump into this and chase it. You know what Top Wealth is, right? This company.
Caviar. I don't. What is it?
Caviar.
Supplier of caviar and other caviar. Look, real talk here. Have you ever had caviar before?
Oh, many times.
Is it good? I don't. Fish eggs are not. Isn't that what it is? Fish eggs. It's not one of the things that I'm never like, man, I can't wait to eat fish eggs today. Like I've never said that.
They're very salty.
Do you like salty stuff?
It depends. I think for me, it depends on what else I'm eating.
Okay.
I've usually had it just with a cracker.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge cheese board fan. All right, I put together a mean cheese board. I like crackers and cheese and all that stuff. Fruit, nuts, all that stuff. But caviar just never.
It's
really
not my favorite. I prefer if I'm going to eat anything from the sea or lake. It's going to be it's going to be mud bugs. It's going to be sushi. I'm not really into eating the eggs either. But, I've had caviar many times, and it's not bad.
Okay,
it's not what I prefer.
Okay, I got you. Smoked Tuna saying, Ryan, if you like olives, Well, look, I'm not even going to touch that. I'm just going to let that one go there, Lion. You do you, boo. Smoke Tuna's here saying, if you like olives, you might like it. I'm actually allergic to olives. Which is the craziest thing. I am allergic to olive flesh and not olive oil. Go figure that one out. And you know how I found that out? This is a funny story. I found out I was allergic to olives because in college, I was like, oh man, I want to be James Bond. So what did I do? Yeah, I ordered martinis. I ordered martinis every time I went out to the bar. And at first, they'd put 3 olives on the little stick, drop it in the drink. I'd nurse the drink. And at the end of the night, after 2 or 3 or 6 of them, I'd be like, my throat, it's all like irritated. And eventually I went to a doctor, got allergy tested. And she's like, do you know that you're allergic to olives? I was like, no, I didn't know that, but it actually makes a lot of sense. From then on, I use a lemon peel.
Fairchild, how do you like your eggs? Do you like them scrambled, poached? I'm just curious because you said overconsumption is just odd, and I thought, well, we eat chicken eggs too, so I was wondering if you do that. But,
all right, folks, it's you're not at the wrong station. This is not Cooking Hour with Ryan and 13. We are actually waiting for Zunaid. He did have to take a really important phone call. I am in contact with him. We are going to have the show with Option Sandy here coming up. We are waiting for Zunaid, but in the meantime, we're having a little fun.
Oh, absolutely. And look, even this is where we have a market. We're even talking the differences between the different caviars here,
which is something else. I that is something else here. Spy, by the way, pushing.
Gotcha, Fairchild. Hey, look, I get it. The fish egg thing is a little bit weird, but you know, it is what it is. People like it. There's a business, and apparently, there's now a publicly traded company that's all around that business. So that's what TWG is. And that hit 8 on the dot.
Spy here. This might test your 580 again. Remember, 580.10, your intraday high if we can get above that, but it does look like a 580 test coming here. Elon, okay, you're asking us a serious question. Let's get back down to brass tacks here. Elon asking, hi, any thoughts on Amazon and First Solar? Got pummeled on the day due to analyst downgrade, but snap back strongly the next day. These analysts are manipulative. Their shops buy on the cheap. So these are 2 very different names here. Let's start with First Solar. The solar names here, given the CPI FSLR, what's the matter with me? Given the CPI and the PPI print, I can understand why solar is kind of trading down. I actually said on pre-market prep, this looked like this was at a support area. Nice to see we've bounced almost 4.5% here. We'll see if that continues. A lot of these are going to be dependent on rates, right? So if we keep getting cuts, we had Bostic yesterday saying we might need to pause. We might need to pause next meeting. That not good for solar. So, all right, Zunaid. Hello, how are you?
Up? My apologies. Thank you for holding down the fort. I didn't expect. Yeah, it took a little bit longer than.
That's okay. Pro tip for you: 13 and I turned this into Cooking Hour and dad joke time, so no apologies needed. Definitely make sure that you apologize to Sandy though, because we want to make sure she gets all the time that she needs, and we've been hyping your show coming up here.
Well, I mean, it should be exciting, should be fun. Ryan 13, appreciate you guys as always. I will see you on Monday.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
All right. Have a good week.
All right. We go from Ryan in 13 and we go ahead to Sandra. So we can go ahead and talk a little bit about options and see what she's trading in that part of the world as well. Let me go ahead and bring her on. Sandra, hello. Good morning. My sincere
Good
apologies.
morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's been a busy morning. It is 11:11 on the East Coast. So if you're out there, make a wish. And speaking of which, what are you? It has nothing to do with my transition. That was bad. But before I play the intro here, and I apologize for the show being short today, but what are some tickers that we can look forward to today?
You know, today we're going to look at Dell, Snow, and Wells Fargo.
All right.
You have to excuse me. I have a little sore throat today.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
might
that.
be the olives in my vodka drinks.
So someone
As
had
Ryan
a little bit too much fun.
But no eggs. What is that called? Caviar. That was a great conversation. I loved it.
Really? Well, hopefully we didn't lose some viewers over it, but this is Options Trading Made Simple with Sandra.
Welcome back, traders. This is Sandra with Trading Made Simple. I'm here to show you short-term proven strategies. People think trading is a one-size-fits-all market. It's not. We live trade and train daily. Let's talk trading.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? You guys want to talk about some cocktails or some sushi? By the way, I love sushi. There's a roll. It's called the heart attack roll. That, of course, that's the one I love because it's deep fried. It's got a lot of cream cheese in it, and I'm just totally into that. But anyway, let's get into some charts. So, whatever. Hi, guys. Glad to see you saying hello. I appreciate it. Wanted to let's see, what did we do last week? You know what? We actually got into some debit spreads with CVS. Now, I got into about 10 of them. They were really cheap at the time. And I wanted to keep one on so you could actually see where we're at. Now, we actually went up to about 200%. Today is Friday. They do expire today. I left one on so we could just kind of see where it's at the end of the week. But as CVS was rising, let's go over to the, were you able to see that chart? I hope so. I wonder. Sometimes I wonder about that when I switch over to different charts. But let's take a look at CVS on a daily. And where were we last Friday? We were right here. And I was mentioning, because we can actually see what the weekly expected move was, I was mentioning that, hey, if we end up closing above the weekly expected move, right, this could go higher. And if it did, it could reach the weekly expected move for the next following week, which is right now at 66.78. And where are we now? We're at 66.81. This was like a perfect trade for a debit spread as well, because even though we, kind of went up slowly, sideways here, it didn't really bother the debit spread at all. As a matter of fact, it was really easy to hold. Now, the other trade that we got into, which was a complete bust, was Tesla. So let's take a look at that trade. So this trade, unfortunately, did not work out. We were here on Friday, right? And we were talking about, hey, this could possibly, because we had broke through the weekly expected move low. And then on Friday of last week, we actually did a little bounce. And I thought, oh, maybe this is a little recovery bounce. It hit support. We're right at the 20. And you know how the 20 is like my favorite EMA for a reversion to the mean. That's exactly what price did. And then what did it do this week? Well, as you can see, this week it did absolutely nothing. And then today is gapping completely down. Now, I got out, I think on this day, I think it was Monday or Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday I got out. I was looking for maybe some data to come out to maybe hype this stock up, but instead it just went completely the opposite direction. I think I got, took 5 debit spreads, call debit spreads on this, and exited with about $100 loss. So it wasn't even that bad. On the flip side, CVS, believe it or not, those contracts were about 31 cents, $31 for a debit spread. I think my highest exit was around $95. So ended up, and because they were so cheap, I was able to actually get more, right? Because what you're doing with your portfolio is you're saying, okay, let's just say my portfolio size is whatever, and 1 to 3% of that on each ticker is, let's just say, about $500. And if I wanted to then, buying CVS at 31 cents per debit spread, let's just say I could get 10 of those. As a matter of fact, I could have got more than that, but I felt comfortable with 10. And then for Tesla, I believe they were around 75, 80 cents. So I only got 5 of those, right? So what ends up happening, CVS becomes a winner. I end up making over $400 on that trade. Tesla is a bust. I only lose $100 on that trade. So net, I end up, actually coming ahead for the week. And this is how you too can kind of look at your portfolio. And instead of saying, I'm going to buy 5 of each, because I recognize how people do this mentally, right? They say, oh, I'm going to buy 5 of each, or 2 of each, or 1 of each. but they're all different size tickers. The options, they don't equal, they're not equal to one another. And so you might lose on Tesla a bigger loss than you would have on CVS if we got the same amount of contracts. I hope that can make sense to you. And this is a way not only to protect, limit your risk. And I apologize for talking so low. I have a sore throat today. This is a great way that you could protect not only your portfolio, limit your risk, right? Because we're only doing defined risk trades, but you can also capitalize on your winners and cut your losers and still come out ahead during the week. I hope that makes sense to you. If you have any questions about that, you could always call me at the office. My contact is at tradingmadesimple.org. And so let's see. So that was those two trades that we took care of. Now, let's just go ahead and take a look at the charts. If you have any charts you want me to take a look at, please let me know. Happy to do it. So as an example, today we are pumping, right? We broke out of our mid-morning or our pre-market levels. By the way, if you don't know, your overnight levels is your pre-market levels. If you break out of that, either on the high side or the low side, then you're trending. So you can see that we have a trending market today. You can see that SPY right now on a 15-minute chart is bumping up into resistance right here. Momentum is waning right now, but it's still positive, right? We're up $3.20. This is actually looking really good. The VIX is at 2052. Now the VIX is also, by the way, I just love looking at the VIX. It's a great forecaster. When the VIX goes down, the market goes up. Believe it or not, that the VIX has overnight levels as well. And you can do you put an indicator on your chart, whether it be TV or here maybe, or whatever platform you're on. You could actually look at the overnight action, by looking at that and then marking it, right? And you can do the same thing on VIX, and it's a great forecasting tool because if VIX breaks out of its pre-market levels, it's trending as well. And so today we're looking at like 2060. So if the VIX goes above that 2060 range, you could probably see the market fall back. If it stays below it, we could continue to pump or go sideways because we've already made a pretty decent move today. You could see that today the VIX actually pumped down. We actually gapped down on the VIX, which is really positive for the market since the VIX is a fear gauge indicator. It moves opposite of the market. Okay. So if the VIX goes down, market goes up. VIX goes up, market goes down. And so you can see that we're actually trending lower on the VIX today. But if you watch it or put an alert on, it's awesome because as it's actually breaking its pre-market high or low, because it has its own support and resistance, it has its own chart patterns, you can actually see the market do exactly the opposite. It's fun to watch. We do this every day live and set alerts for our live stream. And it's great to see, what the market does as soon as we hit those levels. So keep that in mind as the VIX is actually moving lower. So this could be a pump for SPY and the QQQs. I think what's so powerful today is that all the indices are moving together. So let's take, for example, so we have SPY that's looking really good. This is a 5-minute chart. And then we also have the QQQs. QQQs a little bit, I think, lagging a little today, right? Look at the Qs. We got SPY that's pumping over $3. And look at the Qs actually just kind of going sideways here, doing nothing. Nothing at the open, as you can see. We gapped lower. We closed the gap. We actually did a gap and go. And now we're just going sideways, but clearly not as powerful as SPY. And then look at DIA's pump. DIA just pumping up 330, just like SPY. And then we have IWM pumping. So we have 3 of the indices basically, right, that are pumping except for the Qs. And so because we have all of those backing, right? I mainly look at SPY because I trade a lot of SPX. But when you see that 3 of the indices are all breaking out, they're all trending positive, you could basically, right, get into anything and you're going to make some money. The market's trending. Remember that the market only trends about 15-20% of the time. If that's the case, then learning some premium generating strategies like credit spreads and iron flies and iron condors could be an awesome way to make some money during the daytime. You don't have to necessarily be sitting at your, um, uh, manually doing this. You can automate your trades because you can identify when we're trending based on the pre-market levels. So this is a really easy way to look at the markets each and every day, create a game plan, because we like to go directional, but we also like to take advantage of sideways motion, especially with the 0DTE SPX, right? Totally, we totally have a great strategy for SPX trades. We love doing iron flies. If you haven't done any of those, you should really try to learn some of that. It can really open up your eyes to some strategies that have some really high probability. They're really high probability trades. Now, old school, believe it or not, old school thinking was like, well, on premium generating strategies, you really have to risk about 3 times more than what you make. This was an interesting philosophy. And the reason is because they're higher probability trades, you're willing to risk a little bit more because they're so high probability. But what ends up happening is this kind of theory about picking up pennies on the floor, right? You're making these little moves that are high probability. But once you get kind of steamrolled with a 3x, then it takes you about 3 to 5 trades to make that up. So you're constantly kind of on this treadmill, And so what we discovered back testing is that we found that there's a ton of really high probability trades that are 1-to-1. So as an example, we often do a iron fly where we're risking 25% to make 25%, which means that typically those trades are about 250 to 350 for each one. So if each of your contracts are worth about 350, then you're willing to give up 350. Same thing for our credit spreads. Our credit spreads, we used to do them each and every day and maybe collect 70 cents, $70 per contract. But we were willing to give up 2.5 to 3 times that much for a loser. So we stopped doing that. We started to do a wider spread and ended up taking in about $2.95 to $3 each and every morning and afternoon. We do a morning and afternoon one. And we're starting to see that, wow, we actually have a really good win rate, like 80%, but we're taking in a lot more money. And so we're building our portfolio so much faster than we did before the old-fashioned way. So I think I guess my point here is that if you're a premium generating, if you're a trader that likes premium generation strategies, I would highly recommend you start backtesting those strategies that you love. And, there are so many great tools that are available to us where they never were before. So this really allows you to do a lot of great things, as well as, by the way, bot trading. So I am an expert at Thinkorswim. I love to automate my trades. And then, the quality of bots today are excellent. And I mean, it'll get you in the trade, out of the trade. If you're a premium generating strategy person like me, I have a ton of SPX trades on. And looking at the monitor tab on Thinkorswim, oh my God, what a pain. I got to tell you, it's just awful. However, now because of the bots, you can actually just look at a dashboard and know exactly which one of your trades is doing what. You want to get out of one of those trades, you don't have to look at your monitor and try to find out, which leg it is. All the legs are crossing. And so now it's really easy just to go into your dashboard, click one button, and you're out of that one specific trade, as an example. So I got to tell you, I mean, it's really, last couple of years is just mind-blowing for these types of trades. I do, by the way, teach you how to set up bots for your premium generating trades, anything that's rules based that you can program, back test. So I teach all about that. And I look forward to talking with you if you have questions about it. So let's get into some charts. Boy, I just went off on a rampage on that. Sorry, but I love iron condors and iron flies and stuff. So let's take a look at Dell. Looking at Dell, we got some high conviction, right? Last week we took some trades based on high conviction. I saw a lot of Tesla calls coming in on option flow. That's why we took that debit spread. I also saw CVS. So we're 1 for 1 on that one. So this week we have a lot of Dell coming in. And then let's take a look at Snow. All right. So this is a small chart, but everything's pumping today, so everything's going to look great. So we have a lot of momentum on Dell here, or excuse me, Dell looks wonderful. It's up $2. Let me take a look at Dell again. Dell up $1.30, not really trending right now. Let's see on an hourly. Hourly, the momentum looks great for the last couple days and still having quite a bit of money coming in on Dell. Let's also take a look at pink stocks. Wells Fargo came in. A lot of flow coming in for Wells Fargo. Let's take a look at that on a 4-hour. And we ended up gapping up today, and the money is still coming in, and that probably was because of earnings. All right. So I think Wells Fargo could get a nice pump with its continuation of today's earnings report. Got a great pump up for it. Look at this huge gap down below. Now, this, we gapped up and now we're kind of going down here. At the end of the day would probably be a better setup for Wells Fargo. However, as long as it stays above this gap and doesn't do a gap fill, this thing could just keep on pumping. Now, of course, it could do a gap fill, right? But we don't want to get into this if that ends up happening. You may want to also exit a trade if that ends up happening because it's such a big gap. But I don't think so with this momentum that's behind it. It may just keep on going. So let's take a look at so I think we took a look at those three. Which ones do we like better here to do a trade on? So we got an hourly here. It's going to be hard because everything's pumping. I like this setup a little bit better. And the reason is because the momentum is kind of basing out. So oftentimes, I like using, I got to, the sun is coming and beating right down on me. It was just cloudy a minute ago, and now it's beating down on me. So I hope this doesn't kind of ruin your lighting on that side of it. But I got to tell you right now, I like this setup because momentum often, it ebbs and flows. And momentum actually drives the price. So if momentum drives price, and we just got done pumping, and now we're ebbing, and so what we're doing right here is basing on momentum. Well, momentum, just like price, when we're looking at a price chart and saying, oh, we're basing, it's the same thing. So if we base and we don't, break the zero line here on a 1 hour and a 15, it's great for a short-term swing. It actually looks really good. Even on an hourly, I like it. I actually like Dell to go continue further. So let's take a look at the option chain here. And let's stick with our debit spreads. Let's do the weeklies because this is like weekly income, right? So I do like to do out of the money now, or excuse me, in the money. If you do an in the money, which is right where price is, you end up actually making a little bit more than if you take an out of the money. But if you take an out of the money a debit spread, it's a lot cheaper. So you may want to practice and simulate both of those just to see how that turns out for you. But in this case, we're going to do some Dell call debit spreads. We're looking for price to basically stay above the 128 area. So we're looking for this to go up a couple dollars, okay? And now look at how cheap this price is. This is great. I really like this. So I'm going to get a lot of these. I'm actually, let's see, it looks like it's max loss is 580. Your max profit is 420. That's interesting that it's not more 1-to-1. But here, what we're going to do is my max loss is going to probably be, let me lower this just a little bit because I thought the price was 37 cents. So let me get about that many. And so let me put this on the analyze graph so you can see what that looks like. So here you can see that this is where price is, and we're wanting, right? We're wanting the price to basically move up a couple bucks. Now, if we look at the trade tab, you could see that for next Friday, we're actually looking at about 5.7 points, right? It can either move up or down 5.7 points. And you know what? If it ends up moving up because of all the option flow data that's coming in from unusual whales, we could actually see this bypass our price and get us into profit here. So I like this setup for Dell. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Let's take a look at snow now. And by the way, what I like to do for debit spreads, it's really kind of an easy management system. As you make 50%, you start taking some of those profits. So I start to, sell a quarter of my position. If it moves up again, quarter of my position, and try to leave a couple on for the last day if it really is pumping. So, but if it ends up losing about 50%, then that's it, I'm out. You can also recheck the chart and take a look and say, this actually, the momentum is getting weaker on a 15 or a 1 hour chart. I think I'm going to exit right here with, a smaller loss. So those are the ways that you can manage your trades. You don't have to be married to these guys, not unless they're working, right? Then you want to give it a chance. Now, I want to look at this chart. I love this, that it ebbed. It's going sideways here on momentum. So it's just basically basing right now. Wells Fargo had a great, earnings call, hence this huge pump up. So here's another one that I'm going to take with you here. If you guys are following along, just going to go over to the call side. I'm going to just take and at the money call credit spread. And you can see by my chart, you're buying one and you're selling one. Gives you a hedged position. My God, this is so cheap. Let me, I might make this a little wider. Let's take a look at this on the analyze graph here. So we really need this to pump a couple dollars. Let's take a look at the trade tab and say, okay, well, now take a look at that. So our expected move for 1 week is only 1.8 points from here, right? Because it's always updating. So if we only have an expected move of 1.8, let's do something a little bit closer in the money. So let's say a 60.61. Okay. If we go to the analyze, let me get rid of that one. So now what this does, as you can actually visually see your trade on the chart, you could see that we're already in the money. So we have some value here, right? Already we have value as soon as we get in. Now, granted, it's a little bit more expensive, but if this ends up going sideways or maybe goes down a little bit, it's not going to shake you out of this position because you're already in the money. We recognize we want to still be able to move that 1.8, right? So that's going to put us over here somewhere, and we're going to be fine. And as long as time is passing, this trade ends up making more premium as time passes because it's a hedged position. So this is called a called debit spread. I hope you guys, if you're here for the first time, then that's what this is. But if you've been here before and you're probably experienced, you know exactly what this is. Let me get some of these. So now this one is going to cost us 61 cents. All right. So I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to say confirm and send. I'm actually going to edit this and get a couple more. Let's get 5 of these. And now we got Wells Fargo. And we're already in the money on Wells Fargo. All we got to do is either stay sideways or go up a little bit more, and we're good to go for next week. And what was the other one we got? We got Dell. Let's take a look at Dell. On Dell, we're looking for this to base out and then continue up because we saw some option flow coming in here. So getting a nice pump today, and we'll see if these two end up working out for next week. Let's see if you guys got any charts. I don't know, Zunaid, if you are in a hurry to get back.
You're good. You got like 2 minutes. I'm just finishing up a quick call, but we got 2 minutes and then we'll.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
you.
Let's see if I can get back to, let's see, StreamYard here. All right. Hi, Sandra. How about, oh, yeah, which got plummeted yesterday by Jefferies, lowering target price and unwilling CPI. Okay, let's look at FSLR. These stocks were actually pumping for a while, right? FSLR. Yes, indeed. Well, actually, this is a good place to reshort. And the reason I say that is because, so the trend is lower, right? So we went down, based a little bit, came back up, which is totally normal, right? We made a low, we made a lower high. And so what are we going to do now? Make a lower low, most likely. If not, we'll come down here and do a double bottom before we actually change trend. So how do we know when we actually change trend? Let me try to say that. Well, on any chart, I like the 1 hour and 15 for short swings. What you're looking for really is for price to break above the 20. Now here we have it on a 15-minute chart where it broke above the 20. So this could be a trend change. You can see that momentum is above the zero line, and that's exactly what I'm looking for. The problem is that the hourly doesn't line up. So this is not A plus yet, but look at how close we are. So I would put an alert, or I would actually put in an order, automate the order, of course. And what you want to do is just take a look at, like, so the 20 is around that 215.85. I say, hey, if price gets above 216, get me into a trade. Why? Because the hourly is lagging, but the 15 has already shown you some evidence that we made a trend change. We got above the 20. Momentum is above zero. And on the hourly, we're waiting for the same thing. Now you could see we're at zero and we're kind of like basing sideways here, right? So when momentum goes above the zero line and price goes above the 20, then you have a confirmation trend change. And then that, by the way, on a 15 and a 1 hour, they both line up and say yes to that, then that's a true statement. You got enough evidence, you know, 2 pieces of confluence of evidence to get back into this trade. And by the way, look at FSLR today. Wow, went up $8.66. Holy moly's. Got plummeted yesterday and a big, huge gap up today. So a downgrade, but what happened today? There's got to be some news on FSLR. Something happened, but that's what I would be looking at for price action for FSLR. What's the next thing I would be looking at here? Let's just take a look at SPY. SPY still holding and going sideways. Great. Okay. Let me take a look at another question here. Where are the strike prices and expirations for Dell? I'm sorry. No worries, Tom. Hold on for just a second. Let me get to it. So let's see. Let's take a look at our monitor tab. We got Dell. We got a 127 call, a 128. We bought the 127s. We sold the 128s. The expirations for next Friday. And where you see that is on the trade tab. Just go right over here and see these guys right here. This is how many days out. So we just took next Friday. Is that next Friday? Did I take the right date or not? I'm on SPY. Hold on for just a second. I'm on SPY. I knew that didn't look right. There we go. Here we go. Here's 7 days out. So you can see that makes it real easy for you then. It's just to look at the days right here. You can see how many days out. So we're just doing some weekly income. So we're just doing a debit spread. At the money debit spread right here. And hopefully that answered your question. Looks like we're down a little bit too. Let's see. What else can we do here? Let me take a look at a couple more questions. Hey, Elon, thanks for the shout out. I really do appreciate it. Lower PPI today. Chart still looks not so great. Not so great, but it's getting repaired. I think if that 1 hour can get there. Anybody else? All right, you're back. As my
What
voice
is
is
up?
all like,
No, I know. Well, I appreciate you still powering through and hanging out with us here today and giving us some awesome trades. Hood is definitely one of the tickers that I'm keeping an eye on as they have Hood Week coming up. Matter of fact, we might even be in Miami for their summit, so we'll see what exciting conversations come out of that. But Sandra, I appreciate your time here today, and I hope your throat feels better. I hope you get your voice
thank
back.
you guys. I hope I wasn't too low
No, I think they
talking.
heard you just fine.
All right. Sounds good. Well, guys, have a great weekend, and we'll give you an update next Friday. I look forward to seeing you again. By the way,
Tell folks where they can find you.
tradingmadesimple.org.
Yeah,
I hope I see
there
you
you
there.
go. Awesome. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sandra. We'll see you next time. Bye.
You bet. Bye-bye.
All right, chat. We're going to go ahead and kind of give a special edition of I call it a Trader Bacon Show because I missed Gates, I guess. But Futures Fever, still sponsored by Apex. So we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and switch up a couple of banners. One moment. There we go. All right, give me a thumbs up, Jesse, if you're good to come on. All righty, what is going on? Let me take her charts down. My bad, Sandra. I'm like producing and moving and doing all those other things. Feel free to share your charts, Jesse. But what's up, man? Good morning.
Morning, man. Morning. Yeah, everything's looking good. Just Friday, easing into the end of the week. It's been a okay-ish week, green on the week, but not like the couple weeks before, man. It's just been a lot of sideways with a little bit of grind straight up. Not really my cup of tea. How you been doing?
I've been doing well. Thankfully, trading has been pretty good. I'm keeping an eye on Hood and see what happens there, and just trying to continue building up some evals on the Apex side as well. Let me go ahead and share your charts here. Tell us what we're looking at here today.
Earlier, you know me, I was looking for those short setups. Earlier, I was looking. Where's my mouse? Here it is. I was looking here. I thought we were going to hold underneath this 40 zone and retest this 400. Whoa, what happened to my chart? There we go. Test these 400s and then probably fade it, but we didn't. We just kept going and grinding up higher and higher, only up a couple $100 on the day or something like that. Nothing to write home about right now. It just honestly looks like it wants to push higher, but I don't know. The volume is slowing down dramatically. We might just be a sideways grinder. It'll be something where longs are want to get long. They're going to get stopped out. Shorts are going to step in looking for that fader. It's not going to happen. It's going to bounce back up, and it's just going to, like a heart monitor, sideways all day.
Yeah.
That's what it's feeling like.
Yeah. I've got this on my NQ charts. I'm going to put my charts up here in a sec. So here, this is on the daily, right? So here's what I've got, where you had resistance all the way back in June 20th. Then you had a bit of a pop-up. And, it came back down, still resistance. We finally popped back up a couple of days ago, and now we're holding. So for me, if I were to swing something, right, I would want my stop loss to be right below this level here. Call it about 22.89. That's if I'm swinging. Obviously, look, that's a couple 100 points. You want to make sure you're positioned properly. But then if we go ahead and kind of check out on the intraday, I'm not sure I see, I'm not sure I see the best opportunities. I think here where it came down to test support, I think you could have had something around the morning of here, than this morning at 9:30. But that's kind of what I'm seeing on the NQ side of things for me. Have you taken any trades today? Sorry, I may have missed that part.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Intraday, it's looking pretty crappy. Swing traders, it's definitely their environment right now, in my opinion. I swung. I took a couple of trades here, just to the long side. I was actually watching and eyeing this 420 zone, previous little resistance. I thought we'd pull into it, bounce. We didn't. We just flushed right through it, flushed even through the 400, then recovered. When we recovered it, I got long right here above 420 and just caught a little piece of this bounce back up. I didn't have confidence in the long, didn't have confidence in the short. And usually when I have that battle, I try to stay out of everything. So made a couple bucks, nothing to write home about. I even posted in the Discord. I was like, guys, I'm not even gonna post about it. Usually I post my P&L screenshot. Not even worth it, because I'm not happy with myself and not riding it to at least the 460 zone. But at the same time, it's like I said, I didn't have confidence in the long. I didn't have confidence in the short. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have even taken that entry, but I did, managed it. We moved on, made a couple bucks. But right now, I'm just looking at the sideways action, man. I don't trust it, and I try to be disciplined. So I'm trying to stay out of it. I have an eval that I'm gonna work on, and I don't even know if I want to take a trade in the eval, to be honest. The trades earlier were in the funded accounts with Apex.
What's the eval size? What are we working with?
250K.
Okay, so are all your accounts like the 250K, or what do you kind of typically work with?
No, I have a stack. I probably have like 11 50K PAs, and then I have 3 or 4 250K PAs. When they busted out that 85-time lifetime fee for the PAs, I was like, you know what? It's worth jumping on those 250s.
Yeah.
I was able to nab a few.
How long does it typically take you to like pass an eval? Are you looking to kind of just gung ho swing for the fences? Because evals, I know it's a little bit looser to get past than, obviously getting paid out side of things. So like, what's your strategy? Is it the same as a funded account, or what do you do there?
No, I go against the grain there. A lot of times people in the Facebook groups and say they're like, oh, you must trade your eval the same you would your PA so you can build the habits, this and they're 100% right, in my opinion, anyways, for a new trader. But if you are already a seasoned trader and you can prove that you're consistently profitable, like your risk management is on point. And for me, when I go into the evals, I don't want to waste time. I'm not going to trade them, like a PA. I'll trade them pretty much full size and try to get them done anywhere between 1 to 3 trades and move on into the PA. Because honestly, if I buy 3 evaluations and I blow 2, I'm probably going to at least get that 1, right? And I'm going to pass it in the same day, and it's a PA the next day, and I'm trading it already. You know what I mean? Versus spending 2 weeks trying to get to the PA status on it. I don't want to do that. But if you're a new trader, I always suggest new traders trade, because you want to build the habits. If you don't have the habits, you want to build them in the eval, transition them to your PA. When I get into the PA, I don't trade that way. I trade like I would my regular cash account. I trade it smaller, and I trade it with smaller risk per trade.
All right, gotcha. So we looked at the NQ. I assume the ES kind of looks similar to us as well, and just some kind of chopping around, trying to see what it's going to do. Now, look, maybe we'll get a bit of a movement on the last hour of the day, and we might get something there, whether it's to the upside, downside. Typically, Fridays can be a little bit hectic, so we'll see what type of action. But what levels are you kind of keeping an eye on? If we kind of take a look at it, say the daily, whether it's on the NQ, whether it's on the ES, what are some go ahead.
I pulled up the ES right now, the 15-minute chart. I mean, it doesn't take a master chartist to see you're building a nice little bull flag setup here.
Yeah.
If we can continue holding this little uptrend along, like the way I would trade it, right? I would take a starter position inside of this bull flag with a stop just outside of the bull flag. And then I'd add to the position if we break up and over the downtrend line here. If we break up and over that, I'd add to the position. First take profit would be up here in front of the highs, and we'll see if we can extend. Honestly, it looks like a picture perfect bull flag. Like, I don't see anything wrong with this, especially on a Friday, like you just mentioned. We probably will see a move towards end of day. I won't be around end of day today, but if you could get, like, if I could get myself a position somewhere down here in the bottom end of this bull flag, nice little tight stop, it wouldn't hurt to give it a stab. I mean, what are you going to risk? You know what I mean? You're really close to your stop. That's why I like trading patterns.
Yeah. So sorry, just to kind of clarify, your stop would be where?
Let me see if I can draw it out. I don't really use these drawing tools much. I'm going to try to draw it out here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So there's no need, I don't think, to add this other line, is there? But I'm going to add it for the team watching on YouTube land. So there is your bull flag. Oh, we don't want to put an order out. Okay, so there's your bull flag. I wouldn't mind getting long here at 58 if I had time to hold on and babysit this trade. and then
Yeah.
my stop would be underneath this uptrend line. It would be
Yeah.
underneath that line. We break under that line, we stop out because the pattern at that point is starting to invalidate itself, and we're done. What did we risk? We got 58. We're long 58. We stop out at 54. We're risking 4, maybe 5 points for the shot at making all the way up here towards 65, 60, 66 for the first take profit. That's a no-brainer trade in my opinion. But after the show's over, I got to head down to the Keys to check out on that property down there. So I'm not going to be able to babysit this trade, but that's a nice setup right there.
All right. Any other setups you're seeing, whether it's in the oil side of things or whether it's, do you ever trade platinum or uranium or anything like that?
No, I just trade NQ and a little bit of ES here and there. Right now, ES is looking like the better setup in my opinion versus the NQ. The NQ's 15-minute chart. Look at this. It doesn't look as clean. How do we change the chart? Oh, here we go. Okay, 15 minutes. So it doesn't look as clean. You kind of have that same. You kind of have that same bull flag setup as you do in the 15 on the ES on the 15-minute chart, but on the ES it's much cleaner.
The what do you call it? The wicks just for me always throw me off because it's like, do I include it in the in the trend lines? Do I do it not? I mean, I always do just because look, at the end of the day, the price action did go there, and that's where it bounced from. So I definitely always do keep an eye on that. But let me take a look and see if there are. By the way, are you close? I know. Are you going to request a payout here in the middle of October, or are you going to wait till the end of the month? What's your? I'm trying to see. Where you're at with another payout possibly.
Okay, so let me go take a quick look here because I was actually looking at my. I have a couple of accounts here. Remember last week when I mentioned about a couple of accounts that I surpassed the 30% rule on them?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I need to make another $3,000. So I mean, if I make another $3,000 in those accounts, then I will request payout. I need to make another $3,000. If I do, then bang, I'll request payouts on those. I have 2 more that these are 250K accounts that are just one is about $1,600 away. The other one is about maybe $2,000 away. And on those you can easily get to those figures. So I mean, if I get those numbers in those accounts by the end of next payout, I will request payout on both or on all 4 of these accounts. The other ones are still working on. Probably won't see anything on those until sometime in November. But this month's pretty decent.
Yeah, I like how you're kind of disciplined in terms of like, hey, just because a payout time is coming doesn't mean I need to force trades just to get paid out. Because I think that's what a lot of people try to do. Now, look, I'll be honest. Guilty,
Me too.
But that's where people then get blown up. That's where people then get stopped out. And it's like, all right, cool. I tried to make this trade. It didn't work. Then I doubled down because I wanted to get paid out. And the next thing I know, I'm back to eval phase.
Been there. I've been there. I've done it. I'm like $200 away from a payout and it's payout season, let's call it. And I'll force a trade and then I'm $400 away and then I'm $600 away. And then I want to flip my table.
Yep, 100%. I think there was one time where I placed a trade. I might have been like a couple of $100 away, and I, was like, "Oh, I'll risk 200 to make 200." Didn't work. Down to 400. It's like, all right, cool. I'll risk 400 to make 400. Didn't work. It's like, all right, you know what? I'll just risk the whole account to make 800. How about that? And then, like you said, next thing you know, it doesn't quite work out. I know Walter trades futures. So Walter, if you have any levels that you're looking at, let us know. But anything else on your mind, man, when it comes to the markets or anything else you wanted the folks to kind of know about? I know you have earnings season coming up here as well. In about a week or so, we kick off. But any insights there?
I think that it's wild because yesterday and today we got macro data that should have really sent this market a little bit lower. We had inflation tick a little bit higher. Nothing out of this world. We're still in the 2s, but it ticked higher. Maybe the market will wait until the next inflation report. We had jobs data not looking the best, and the market has actually pushed higher in the face of that. Mm-hmm. So we have, like you said, earnings coming up. It tends to get choppy. I think that we're going to start seeing overnight moves during Globex and a lot of chop intraday with the U.S. Session. So, if you're like me, you might want to scale back during the U.S. session. If it's going to be choppy, you don't give back too much profits. You're better off making a couple bucks than losing a bunch of money. And then maybe consider Globex, trading a little bit of Globex. If it's not your go-to, you don't do it often. I don't do it often. When I do trade it, I trade smaller size just to protect myself because you do have a little bit less volume. So that's what I'm looking at moving forward here. I think it gets choppy. I think we do see a Santa Claus rally unless something macro happens, like in the Middle East. Some black swan event. I do think we probably get a Santa Claus rally going into the end of the year. And it's just watch for the grind and watch for the chop. That's what I'm going to be looking for. And like you said, we're going into payout season here, right? I'm not going to push payouts. I have accounts there that are really close to payouts. If they don't come by the end of this month, it's okay. They're going to come next month. I pulled out $6,000 this month, and a lot of us have regular businesses that we run, in my case, or jobs that we go to. An extra $6,000 apart from your regular income, dude, that's money. Don't get greedy.
Yeah, amen to that. It's very fortunate that we get to have the skill set, or not have it, but we've earned and put in the time to have the skill set that we have to trade. And sweet, man, I appreciate your time. By the way, folks, I did go ahead and go long. For you guys who like to trade, SPY or whatever the case may be, you can snag, what is it, the 549 calls. They go for about $1.20 at the moment. For me, since it's intraday, or since it's at the end of the day, it's like a daily expiration, or same day expiration rather. I will plan on just yellowing this, just a heads up. So figure out your own risk appetite and see what's what. But let's see if we can have steak or ramen tonight. But Jesse, what's up?
That bull flag, guys, keep eyes on it. It's starting to work itself out. Like I said, the long entry starter here. If we break over, there's an ad there that could be had. And then first take profit for me would have been up here in front of the high day. So keep an eye on that.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Hey, best of luck with the property. Hopefully the drive isn't too far for you.
Used to it.
How far is it?
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
How far is it?
2 hours.
Okay. All right. Well, what do you do? Listen to podcasts or what?
If I'm by myself, I usually just put on something on YouTube and let the audio run. Or in this case, I'm going with my old man. So we'll just talk on the way down there.
Nice. All right, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time.
All right, brother. Same here. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Before you go, tell the folks where they can find you. Sorry.
Oh, my channel, Trading with Jesse. You can check out the YouTube channel there. Subscribe. New videos will start coming out again next week. I have a new video that came out last week. And you can check out the links there to my Discord. It's completely free. So just go to the channel, go to the description section. You'll find all my links there.
All right. Appreciate you, boss. Thank you so much. And thank you, chat. We'll see you next time.